Quite an early start, and as soon as we got here, it was in between 25 to 30 knots. We were able to have a full day of competition, making it all the way through to the semi-finals of both the men and the women. A real blend of conditions today, mixing very challenging wing strengths in the morning, dropping away to perfect freestyle conditions at the end of the day. Standouts definitely have to be Manuel Suarez and Carlos Mario. Manuel really easing and looking very relaxed once again over here on day number 2, getting past that 30-point average, and then Carlos Mario, one of the veterans out there, just looking at home here in these conditions.
Everything I see, live large, no apology.
The highest trick score of the day goes to Brazilian Carlos Mario, proving once again he is at home at this event with an 8.10 for a Hinterberger 7. Jean-Maria Coccoluto and Juan Rodriguez definitely had the style out there today. They were in tune with the Lagoon, coming out with a lot of big moves and making it through to the semi-finals. Even though Jean-Maria Coccoluto didn't finish as the highest scorer of the day, he definitely looks like he is one of the top contenders for the podium. It seems like the Italians are on fire at this event. Matteo Dorotini stood out from the rest of the pack. Adding power, grabs and style, definitely looks like this guy has something to say here in Saudi Arabia. The winds were really strong for the initial women's heats. Shining out was Swede Natalie Lambrecht. Altogether a different professional approach from her at this event. Drinks on both tacks plus a new chromo. Of course, Michaeli So is safely through to the semis, but even the strong conditions tested her and she didn't land perfectly every time. Bruna Kajiya once again has shown just how much of a seasoned pro she is, timing her tricks with extreme care and patience in the lulls. She'll be extremely dangerous when this lagoon serves up its best conditions. Watch out, semi-finals will roll tomorrow. Day number 2 here of the Qatar Airways GKA Kite World Tour freestyle discipline in NEOM, Saudi Arabia. We were another bright and early start, and as soon as we got here, it was in between 25 to 30 knots. We were able to have a full day of competition, making it all the way through to the semi-finals of both the men and the women. A real blend of conditions today, mixing very challenging wing strengths in the morning, dropping away to perfect freestyle conditions at the end of the day. Standouts definitely have to be Manuel Suarez and Carlos Mario. Manuel really easing and looking very relaxed once again over here on day number 2, getting past that 30-point average, and then Carlos Mario, one of the veterans out there, just looking at home here in these conditions.
Everything I see, live large, no apology.
The highest trick score of the day goes to Brazilian Carlos Mario, proving once again he is at home at this event with an 8.10 for a Hinterberger 7. Jean-Maria Coccoluto and Juan Rodriguez definitely had the style out there today. They were in tune with the Lagoon, coming out with a lot of big moves and making it through to the semi-finals. Even though Jean-Maria Coccoluto didn't finish as the highest scorer of the day, he definitely looks like he is one of the top contenders for the podium. It seems like the Italians are on fire at this event. Matteo Dorotini stood out from the rest of the pack. Adding power, grabs and style, definitely looks like this guy has something to say here in Saudi Arabia. The The winds were really strong for the initial women's heats. Shining out was Swede Natalie Lambrecht. Altogether a different professional approach from her at this event. Drinks on both tacks plus a new chromo. Of course, Mikaeli Sol is safely through to the semis, but even the strong conditions tested her and she didn't land perfectly every time. Bruna Kajiya once again has shown just how much of a seasoned pro she is, timing her tricks with extreme care and patience in the lulls. She'll be extremely dangerous when this lagoon serves up its best conditions. Watch out, semi-finals will roll tomorrow. Day number 2 here of the Qatar Airways GKA Kite World Tour freestyle discipline in NEOM, Saudi Arabia. We were another bright and early start, and as soon as we got here, it was in between 25 to 30 knots. We were able to have a full day of competition, making it all the way through to the semi-finals of both the men and the women. A real blend of conditions today, mixing very challenging wind strengths in the morning, dropping away to perfect freestyle conditions at the end of the day. Standouts definitely have to be Manuel Suarez and Carlos Mario. Manuel really easing and looking very relaxed once again over here on day number 2, getting past that 30-point average, and then Carlos Mario, one of the veterans out there, just looking at home here in these conditions.
Everything I see, live large, no apology.
The highest trick score of the day goes to Brazilian Carlos Mario, proving once again he is at home at this event with an 8.10 for a Hinterberger 7. Jean-Maria Coccoluto and Juan Rodriguez definitely had the style out there today. They were in tune with the lagoon, coming out with a lot of big moves and making it through to the semi-finals. Even though Jean-Maria Coccoluto didn't finish as the highest scorer of the day, he definitely looks like he is one of the top contenders for the podium. It seems like the Italians are on fire at this event. Matteo Doratini stood out from the rest of the pack. Adding power, grabs and style, definitely looks like this guy has something to say here in Saudi Arabia. The winds were really strong for the initial women's heats. Shining out was Swede Natalie Lambrecht. Altogether a different professional approach from her at this event. Drinks on both tacks plus a new chromo. Of course, Mikaeli Sol is safely through to the semis, but even the strong conditions tested her and she didn't land perfectly every time. Bruna Kajiya once again has shown just how much of a seasoned pro she is, timing her tricks with extreme care and patience in the lulls. She'll be extremely dangerous when this lagoon serves up its best conditions. Watch out, semi-finals will roll tomorrow. Day number 2 here of the Qatar Airways GKA Kite World Tour freestyle discipline in NEOM, Saudi Arabia. We were another bright and early start, and as soon as we got here, it was in between 25 to 30 knots. We were able to have a full day of competition, making it all the way through to the semi-finals of both the men and the women. A real blend of conditions today, mixing very challenging wing strengths in the morning, dropping away to perfect freestyle conditions at the end of the day. Standouts definitely have to be Manuel Suarez and Carlos Mario. Manuel really easing and looking very relaxed once again over here on day number 2, getting past that 30-point average, and then Carlos Mario, one of the veterans out there, just looking at home here in these conditions.
5-star, everything I see, live large, no apology.
The highest trick score of the day goes to Brazilian Carlos Mario, proving once again he is at home at this event with an 8.10 for a Hinterberger 7. Jean-Maria Coccoluto and Juan Rodriguez definitely had the style out there today. They were in tune with the Lagoon, coming out with a lot of big moves and making it through to the semi-finals. Even though Jean-Maria Coccoluto didn't finish as the highest scorer of the day, he definitely looks like he is one of the top contenders for the podium. It seems like the Italians are on fire at this event. Matteo Dorotini stood out from the rest of the pack. Adding power, grabs and style, definitely looks like this guy has something to say here in Saudi Arabia. The wins were really strong for the initial women's heats. Shining out was Swede Natalie Lambrecht. Altogether a different professional approach from her at this event. Drinks on both tacks plus a new chromo. Of course, Michaeli So is safely through to the semis, but even the strong conditions tested her and she didn't land perfectly every time. Bruna Kajiya once again has shown just how much of a seasoned pro she is, timing her tricks with extreme care and patience in the lulls. She'll be extremely dangerous when this lagoon serves up its best conditions. Watch out, semi-finals will roll tomorrow. Day number 2 here of the Qatar Airways GKA Kite World Tour freestyle discipline in NEOM, Saudi Arabia. We were another bright and early start, and as soon as we got here, it was in between 25 to 30 knots. We were able to have a full day of competition, making it all the way through to the semi-finals of both the men and the women. A real blend of conditions today, mixing very challenging wing strengths in the morning, dropping away to perfect freestyle conditions at the end of the day. Standouts definitely have to be Manuel Suarez and Carlos Mario. Manuel really easing and looking very relaxed once again over here on day number 2, getting past that 30-point average, and then Carlos Mario, one of the veterans out there, just looking at home here in these conditions.
5-star, everything I see, live large, no apology.
The highest trick score of the day goes to Brazilian Carlos Mario, proving once again he is at home at this event with an 8.10 for a Hinterberger 7. Jean-Maria Coccoluto and Juan Rodriguez definitely had the style out there today. They were in tune with the Lagoon, coming out with a lot of big moves and making it through to the semi-finals. Even though Jean-Maria Coccoluto didn't finish as the highest scorer of the day, he definitely looks like he is one of the top contenders for the podium. It seems like the Italians are on fire at this event. Matteo Dorotini stood out from the rest of the pack. Adding power, grabs and style, definitely looks like this guy has something to say here in Saudi Arabia. The wins were really strong for the initial women's heats. Shining out was Swede Natalie Lambrecht. Altogether a different professional approach from her at this event. Drinks on both tacks plus a new chromo. Of course, Michaeli So is safely through to the semis, but even the strong conditions tested her and she didn't land perfectly every time. Bruna Kajiya once again has shown just how much of a seasoned pro she is, timing her tricks with extreme care and patience in the lulls. She'll be extremely dangerous when this lagoon serves up its best conditions. Watch out, semi-finals will roll tomorrow. Day number 2 here of the Qatar Airways GKA Kite World Tour freestyle discipline in NEOM, Saudi Arabia. We were another bright and early start, and as soon as we got here, it was in between 25 to 30 knots. We were able to have a full day of competition, making it all the way through to the semi-finals of both the men and the women. A real blend of conditions today, mixing very challenging wing strengths in the morning, dropping away to perfect freestyle conditions at the end of the day. Standouts definitely have to be Manuel Suarez and Carlos Mario. Manuel really easing and looking very relaxed once again over here on day number 2, getting past that 30-point average, and then Carlos Mario, one of the veterans out there, just looking at home here in these conditions.
5-star, everything I see, live large, no apology.
The highest trick score of the day goes to Brazilian Carlos Mario, proving once again he is at home at this event with an 8.10 for a Hinterberger 7. Jean-Maria Coccoluto and Juan Rodriguez definitely had the style out there today. They were in tune with the lagoon, coming out with a lot of big moves and making it through to the semi-finals. Even though Jean-Maria Coccoluto didn't finish as the highest scorer of the day, he definitely looks like he is one of the top contenders for the podium. It seems like the Italians are on fire at this event. Matteo Dolatini stood out from the rest of the pack. Adding power, grabs and style, definitely looks like this guy has something to say here in Saudi Arabia. The winds were really strong for the initial women's heats. Shining out was Swede Natalie Lambrecht. Altogether a different professional approach from her at this event. Drinks on both tacks plus a new chromo. Of course, Michaeli Sol is safely through to the semis, but even the strong conditions tested her and she didn't land perfectly every time. Bruna Kajiya once again has shown just how much of a seasoned pro she is, timing her tricks with extreme care and patience in the lulls. She'll be extremely dangerous when this lagoon serves up its best conditions. Watch out, semi-finals will roll tomorrow. Day number 2 here of the Qatar Airways GKA Kite World Tour freestyle discipline in NEOM, Saudi Arabia. We were another bright and early start, and as soon as we got here, it was in between 25 to 30 knots. We were able to have a full day of competition, making it all the way through to the semi-finals of both the men and the women. A real blend of conditions today, mixing very challenging wing strengths in the morning, dropping away to perfect freestyle conditions at the end of the day.
To welcome here then to the final day, really. It's the semis and the finals of the Qatar GKA Kite World Tour, and we are in NEOM at the 2022 Beach Games. I'm Lewis Craft, and I'm joined by Val Guerrero. Thank you very much for popping in, Val. How are you doing?
I'm doing good.
You've been back out there after a bit of an injury earlier on in the year. How did it feel to be out there competing again?
Yeah, I broke my pectoralis tendon beginning of the year, so it's been a tough year, like a lot of rehab, and I got to be able to kite again in June, but slowly, and I was able to do some freestyle and passes this summer. So I train again, and I'm just so happy to be back competing, full in shape. Like my body is just in a good point now.
Nice. No injuries here. You just had a nice experience back out there, and you made it all the way to the quarterfinals, which is great. But thankfully for us, we've got you in here to talk through this first semi-final, which is going to be a very interesting one here. Just to paint the picture for you of what's going on out on the water, it looks like 20 to 25 knots, maybe a bit more actually. Gianmaria Coccoluto has been out there practicing. You look very proud, but conditions look absolutely perfect here for the semis and the final of the men and the ladies, which we will be bringing to you today. But our first heat is Matteo Dorotini, Luis Alberto Cruz, Juan Rodriguez and Gianmaria Coccoluto. That is a big heat. Who do you think is going to take this one?
Yeah, it's a big hit. I think it's a pretty open hit. Like for me, I think Coco is got a bit of an advantage, but with the pressure on his shoulder, you never know what can happen. But yeah, I will bet on Coco, and then we've seen Matteo doing some pretty solid hit in the strong wind, and Luis as well, very strong rider, and one also young Colombian rider that is riding always pretty good. So I think it's going to be a good battle on the water.
What do we know about this guy, Matteo Dorotini? I mean, he's a bit of a surprise name to be in the semi-finals here. Have you seen him riding before?
Yeah, he actually lost against him in a quarter.
Of course, okay, so you have, yeah.
Yeah, but no, he's a pretty talented rider from Italy. I think he's competing for 1 or 2 years already, but I've seen he's progressing a lot. He's putting a lot of effort, a lot of training, and yeah, he's definitely, I think, a young talent, and yeah, he's gonna, I think, can perform well.
So let's take a look at the beach then. Let's give you a shot out onto the water, or to see the kites that are already set up down there. Looks like they're ranging from 10 metre squared to, I think there's probably going to be an 11 metre down there from Gianmaria Coccoluto. He likes to take his 11, but it is absolutely primed here for freestyle. I can see Joe on the beach, Joe Ziastula doing his MC work. He'll be joining us in here as well today as Finn Flugel, and he's making his commentary debut, which will be exciting. But we are all set to go down here. The time is 10:53. We actually had a lot of rain here last night, which was quite interesting, don't you think? I don't think they get rain around these parts. That was crazy, no?
Yeah, that was super crazy. I really didn't expect to get some rain when I saw this place that looked like a desert more than a place when it rains. But yeah, it was like some big thunderstorm, and it was a crazy night. But it was kind of beautiful to mix the desert with some rain and big clouds like this. Yeah,
I think it's been very good for the community that follow the event, the staff, the riders, everything. It feels like there's just been this big clean washout of all the first 2 days, very hard, very intense, and it feels just like we've had this refreshing start to the day. You should see the plants around here. Not that there are many, but they're all so happy. You can see them all nice and green. On the right-hand side, there's a small bush down there, which has almost grown twice in size with that rain overnight. So it is got a strange feel to it this morning in a nice way. It's very clear. It's like you can see everything perfectly, and these are your shots on the water at the moment then of the riders setting up. There is Luis Alberto Cruz. Let's talk about him as well. I mean, this guy's been around for a long time now, right?
Yeah, I don't even remember like his first competition, but he's like a force of the nature. I don't know how you can say that, but he's just so strong, you know, and super fit. So this guy doesn't need slack to pass the bar, you know. He just he always like managed to pull and always passing the bar. He's like super small and got a lot of power, but he's always there, you know, always fit, and he, you know, he's always gonna perform well on the water.
Yeah, very strong rider, and unless you have your best heat against him, he's one of those who will beat you. You know, you've got to do everything against this rider, so you know you can never write him off in this heat. What about Juan Rodriguez? That is Alberto Cruz there. Oh, there he is to the left-hand side. Juan Rodriguez doing some last-minute stretches. He's taking things seriously, right?
Yeah, he's like one of the riders with a lot of motivation as well. You know, he's only riding every day, going to places to freestyle all year long. Yeah, put a lot of effort into his training as well. So yeah, he also deserves to be in semi-finals, and yeah, he's one of the riders as well that is got really consistent, competing for a few years already on the world tour now. So you know, if you want to kick him out as well, you need to perform four good tricks, because he's gonna do his tricks. So yeah.
Who else can we see down there so far? Gianmaria Coccaluta, just looking out the window here, you've got a nice shot of us in the live stream booth. He was set up very early, and actually he was one of the few riders to actually go out on the water and practice a couple of tricks. How do you do things when you're riding out there? Do you go out before the heats maybe, or do you just save it all for that heat?
I think it's because today's conditions were a bit strong, and he knew that he might probably ride with his 10 or his 9, so that's why he went out. I did the same actually yesterday. I had a early heat in the morning, so I went to try out on my 10 because as a Coco I mostly ride my 11, my 13. So yeah, I think that's why, and I have a lot of motivation, so I think he just wanted to express it a bit on the water this morning to
get it out there. Yeah,
to get it out there, and also let his stress going out. But yeah, I think he did the thing right. I think everybody has his own routine, but yeah, I think he also wanted to show that he is ready for his semi-final, and he's going to do everything super professional to show all the riders he's more motivated than the other.
Yeah, and he's a nice guy as well, just taking it easy. Feels like he belongs in the semi-finals here now, but I'm being told, I think we are going to a quick video of day 2, actually, highlight video of day 2, which we'll bring to you shortly. Actually, we're going to stay here and give you the wide angle of the beach there. Just look at all the kites there is right now. So it's right coming from the right, the wind here, from the north as you look out heading east there. You can't quite see on your screen there, but in the distance are the mountains of Egypt, of the east coast of the Sinai Peninsula, Sharm el Sheikh, and the other one up, Dahab is the other one up there. And for so long, it was just interesting just speaking to one of the Egyptian riders. That's his home spot, and for so many years, in fact, his whole life, he's looked over this side, sort of wondering what goes on there, because it's a similar wind. It's a northerly wind, and here he is actually finally over this side. And it's a good wind, right? I mean, some of the riders here have been perhaps underprepared with not enough small kites, but it's quite strong here. What, you know, were you expecting this?
No, I really did not expect such strong wind, because we usually go to like it's quite similar from the wind we have in Egypt, but in Hurghada, a bit more down, the wind is not that strong. But I know that in Dahab, which is like the closest place from here, a bit up there, the wind is blowing that strong, and I think it's kind of the same wind they got here. So yeah, it's pretty crazy from the Egyptian riders. Like he just crossed the water, and he got a spot that looks like his home spot as well in the country.
It looks very similar to being over there, but I have to say, from our experience of being here, 2 or 3 days now, we're being treated really well. And as we've got you in here, Val, as an athlete competing to a high level in this, how have you found things here at the NEOM Beach Games 2022?
And it's been a really good organization. From the day you arrive at the airport, they take care of you, bring your board bag, everything, and we have a really nice setup with a village, which is 35 minutes by bus from the setup, where we're like all of our bungalow with that we share with one other rider. We have really good food. We have physio as well, like a medical team is here. So I think we are really good treat, and it's just a super nice place as well in the village. Like we just feel really comfortable to relax after long days on the beach. And here in the setup as well is quite nice. We have like some big tents and also a big tent for the storage. So yeah, we just feel super comfortable, and I think we are in the best stage to compete and perform our best in the water. So yeah, it just feels good to have events like this, and we.
You're going to get used to it now.
Yeah, so now our standards is a bit higher after this NEOM Games.
It's I have to say as well, it's been a wonderful event to be part of. Everywhere you go, someone's offering you a drink. You can't literally take your plate back. Someone's taking it from you. The food is unbelievable at the Athletes Village, which fortunately the staff and the people working around the GKA Kite World Tour also get to stay at. So it's been a very pleasant experience, and they are really setting the standard, and it's lovely to see that kite surfing, the doors are really open for kite surfing here in Saudi Arabia, and we expect to see so many people coming here in years to come. It's warm, it's windy all year round. It's not actually that far to get here from anywhere really, especially Europe as well. So it's another destination, and it's exciting to see just how many people from around the world are actually in this place of NEOM right now. It's a real culture hot pot, and we're having a good time this week. I think everyone feels like they've got lots of energy, and I think we're going to see that really translated on the water today in these exciting semis and finals. But if you have just joined us, welcome here to the GKA Kite World Tour. The big one is about to happen here at the NEOM Beach Games 2022. Semi-finals and finals of the men and ladies coming shortly. But I'm Lewis Crathen, joined by Valgarar in the studio right now. Just as we wait, we see the jet ski bobbing out there. Cameramen starting to get into the water. There's Gianmaria Coccoluto there on the beach. It'd be great if we could get a shot of him with a black t-shirt. He's got his headphones on and sunglasses, and he's looking pretty relaxed. Looks like we're going to go down to an interview very shortly on the beach. There's your scene then on the beach, and the reminder that competition is on standby right now. The riders are all set up, and very shortly we will be joining, I think, Joe down there. He's just getting ready. I'm going to get the word very soon. What's going through the riders' minds here, Val? Semi-final about to take place. They've had a whole night to think about it. What do you think they're thinking about?
Yeah, I think as we're free stop this year, Coccoluto is for sure thinking about the world title for now. That's why he might have a lot of pressure. He came fourth in Colombia, and there is no discard, so you cannot miss one event, you know. So yeah, I think he's for sure this is in his mind. He knows, and he's going to Brazil. So the two Brazilians are in the other semi-finals, Manuel Suarez and Carlos Mayo. So yeah, it's going to be a great fight, and yeah, he just knows that he has to make it to the final if he wants to keep on dreaming on this world title.
Yeah, he needs to win this one, and he's sounding positive to do so.
Yeah.
I think we're going to hear from him very shortly now, actually. Yeah, I can see my timer nicely. So Joe is on the beach with the man we're just talking about. Let's pass you down there, Joe.
Wow, good morning everybody. Down here for the GKA Kite World Tour here in NEOM. I'm standing with one of our semi-finalists, and I'm telling you guys and girls back home, the man to beat. He has the highest trick score of the competition, the highest heat score, Gianmaria Coccoluto. Good morning.
Good morning, Joe. Thanks for having me here. I'm really happy for what we have here. It's flat water, good wind. So I will try to push all my trick and can't wait to go in the water for the next hit.
Zama, you had in an interview before on the beach a couple of days ago. We asked you, what are your expectations at this event? And you came out with one statement: I am going to win. That shows attitude. It shows forza. It looks like you're ready. You definitely have that vibe to you. but you know you have a lot of big riders also at the event. What's your strategy?
Yeah, well, I saw that the judges are pushing the sport more like my style. I've been training so hard and to push the level of kiteboarding to the next level. So, like new trick, new grab, innovation. So I hope I can show to the judge and to all the community of kiteboarding what I can do, and I hope will work for winning.
So Jama, it's really good that you say that. One of the things that we are obviously trying to push is quality versus quantity. Kind of the phrase that comes at us is, it isn't a spin to win. We are looking for the execution. You are one of the athletes that has, in my opinion, and in the opinion of a lot of the judges, one of the best styles out there. Adding the grabs in, how hard is it to actually add those little details in? And it looks like it's really nice that you are getting rewarded for it.
Yeah, when I'm training, I try always to put grabs in all my trick, double grab and stuff. It's really hard, trust me, because it's hard work behind. You see me do from Remo double grab, looks easy, but trust me, I've been working hard for this. Now I can do it, but it's hard.
Wow, Jean-Marie, I'm not going to take any more time for you. Thank you very much. Good luck in that semi-final.
Thank you.
And I want to see that front row 5.
Of course, I'm ready to do it, and yeah, you will see it.
Okay, Lewis, back to you. Thank you.
Nice to see some insight then from Gianmaria Coccoluto, who is one of the favourites here today. Even though, like you just told me, Val, he actually finished 4th in the first event of the year. And there won't be any events that you can kick out this time. So he really needs a good performance here.
Yeah, he come first in Colombia. I think he was just needed to do a Chromo 5 to finish first in his heat in Colombia. So I think he's also still have this in mind because it's a trick that he can perform 100 times and he will land it in a training session. But you know, in competition everything change. The mind is not the same. So I think he also got all those kind of small things in his mind. But he knows that if he perform well, he can for sure be at the top. He's one of the top riders and he knows it. And he just knows that now, first of all, you have to make one or second of his semi-final to advance in final.
Yeah, main thing here for him is just to get through in that top 2 position. Now, a lot of talk about him, even though he was 4th at the first event of the year. But there's a reason for that, especially with the style he has. When he puts it together, he certainly can get some of the highest scores, like we saw early on in the event when he was one of the only 2 riders getting scores over 30. Now, I have some notes on him that I've managed to look at this morning. And actually, from what I just looked at of his his only 2 heats here in Saudi Arabia, this man, Gianmaria Coccoluto, hasn't crashed a trick yet here. He's actually landed 14 tricks in a row. That's 7 trick attempts in the first heat, 7 in the next heat that he was in. He's the only rider showing that sort of consistency. Of course, it's only their 4th best tricks that count. It's not entirely necessary to land 7 tricks in a row, but that just gives him that extra, bit of comfort that he can step it up a bit. He's not getting many crashes in there. I mean, are we even going to see this rider crash at this event?
Yeah, he also one of the riders that ride maybe the most. Is like living in Sicily, in the beautiful spot of Marsala, and like he's just put so much effort, like riding every day, going out there as soon as it's windy, and this is why he got so consistent. You know, when you practice like a lot, for sure the confidence is going up, and you know, like all the movement, all the little details you need to do to perform well, and it's something that is crazy about Coccoluto and all the top riders when they go to this level. Like you remember Carlos Mario as well. He was never crashing any tricks at the time he was world champion as well. So I think Coccoluto is at this stage now that he can perform like as you say 14 tricks in a row with many doubles, with tricks with grabs and not crashing any. So I think it's that's why it's making one of the top riders and one of the riders it's super hard to beat, because if you want to kick him out, you need to perform at least 4 really good tricks to
off the bat,
on the back. So it's crazy to see like the consistency of the riders, and this is what's happened when riders put a lot of effort, a lot of training, and with a lot of riding, with a lot of confidence,
Nice shot on the screen there. Val, who have we got on that screen there playing about in that circle?
We got the Dominican crew and 1 Colombian, so this is Posito and Lorenzo. And we have Cruz, so I think they're going to support the Dominican friend. I think Luis Alberto Cruz is the only Dominican in the semi-final now. We usually have Haderi, but he got kicked out in the quarter as well. But yeah, I think they're gonna all support their friend Alberto Cruz and the Colombian as well, Juan Rodriguez, that is spending a lot of time in Dominican as well.
They're always having fun, these riders, aren't they? This crew, you can just see how... Oh, they're waving. They're waving to the camera. Someone's told them that they're on the TV. I love it. I don't know what that move is, Val. Do you know that move?
No, I don't know this one, but yeah, they're quite good out of the water as well. They can perform some good tricks. Always smiling, a lot of energy from these riders. You can see that.
Yeah, they really are the Joker guys that are always having fun back at the athletes. Oh, he can do the moves too. We're seeing a bit of a dance-off here, actually. We will see them go on the water. I wonder what Joe's going to do. Is he going to do a move there just to the right-hand side? But we've talked a little bit about that first heat, the semi-finals, and let's maybe move on to some of the riders in the next heat. We'll cover them all at some point, but I think the next rider we need to talk about is Maxime Chablot, who's very hot on the heels here of Gianmaria Coccoluto. Or in fact, his level in terms of how he's playing it so far, he's been going through really well with high scores. He's yet to really, I think, find his ultimate rhythm, but he's scoring high and looking like he has the different sort of moves that maybe some of the other riders don't have.
Yeah. Maxime is also willing to put some innovation in his riding, looking for something that he's the only one to do. He likes that. For sure, he cannot put as much effort as Coco does in his training, because he's also doing a ski season. He's a world champion in freeride skiing. So
pretty impressive.
Yeah, it's super impressive. He's just super talented rider. But he got a good spirit as well, and a really good competition mind. When he's out there, you see he wants to win. He's going to do everything to win until the last trick. He was not really happy about his riding on the quarterfinal yesterday. So yeah, he just told me that he wanted to come first to maybe be in the other semi-finals, because I think it's going to be pretty tight in the second semi-final with two Brazilian and Arthur, that is the world champion from last year. It's going to be a tough one to make it to the final, but yeah, I think he knows what he needs to do, and he's prepared.
Yeah, and he looks quite focused everywhere around the athlete village. He's a lovely guy as well, just very chilled, very humble, and it's also so interesting to hear, like I did again yesterday, about his background in snow and how he's a world champion in skiing as well. How he manages that, I don't know, but looks like we got someone else down on the beach who we're going to get some insight from very soon. But we're nearly there now. We're nearly at the start of this thing. The riders are in harnesses, wetsuits. Let's go down to Joe right now to get another interview.
Well, I'm standing here with Natalie Lambrecht, who is one of the semi-finalists getting ready to go into the water. And I tell you what, this girl had one hell of a heat yesterday, doing toe side moves that we haven't often seen out in competition. Looks like you're in the vibe for these finals.
Yeah, I've been super happy. The first heat kind of felt like a final because I was with two of my biggest idols, Fra and Bruna. So I was just inspired to keep pushing, and I was watching their trick, just wanted to push more, and it was a really fun heat actually.
So Natalie, obviously you are definitely one of the powerful ladies up on top. Semi-final coming up. Hopefully we're going to be seeing you in the finals. What's the mindset? Because obviously you also have been concentrating on a lot of the big air, kind of mixing it up. That came as a surprise for you. And then also, you have the schooling. How do you kind of fit that whole package in one?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure it out, the balance. And this year we haven't had that many competitions, so it's been okay. Like I've had a month now to train before the freestyle, and that felt like I really needed. But yeah, next year I'm a little bit nervous about it all, but I still want to push, and I want to be an all-around rider and try to do the freestyle in big air.
I mean, that is what we're looking for here on the GKA Kite World Tour, is the most complete kiteboarder. But tell me a little bit about those toe side tricks. How did you come about them? Because we haven't seen them much in competition. And I think you can be very happy because you saw the judges really rewarded that. Talking to Coccoluto before, it's all about attention to detail.
Yeah, I mean, like the toe side tricks, I've been working on them since last year, and I already tried it in my competition last year in November in Brazil. But there I wasn't that confident with it, and this year I really feel comfortable with it, especially in really strong wind. And yeah, I want to keep pushing them even more in Brazil and work on them so that I can add more to the table.
And tell me a little bit about NEOM here. It's the first time for us here in Saudi Arabia. We have perfect flat conditions, nice warm water, no thick wetsuits over here. Wind is a little gusty, but as it goes down, the wind kind of gets nice and constant. What are your feelings for the first time over here?
No, I'm super happy. It's flat water, so you only have to focus on your pop and adapt a bit to the wind. And yeah, I mean, look at it. It's so beautiful over here. So what else can you want?
That is it. The only thing you can want is to get on top of that podium. Natalie, I wish you the best of luck. Congratulations on the ride-in so far. And Lewis, back to you. We will see Natalie soon in the semi-finals.
Day number 2 here of the Qatar Airways GKA Kite World Tour freestyle discipline in NEOM, Saudi Arabia. We were another bright and early start, and as soon as we got here, it was in between 25 to 30 knots. We were able to have a full day of competition, making it all the way through to the semi-finals of both the men and the women. A real blend of conditions today, mixing very challenging wind strengths in the morning, dropping away to perfect freestyle conditions at the end of the day. Standouts definitely have to be Manuel Suarez and Carlos Mario. Manuel really easing and looking very relaxed once again over here on day number 2, getting past that 30-point average, and then Carlos Mario, one of the veterans out there, just looking at home here in these conditions.
5-star, everything I see, live lost, no apology.
The highest trick score of the day goes to Brazilian Carlos Mario, proving once again he is at home at this event with an 8.10 for a Hinterberger 7. Jean-Maria Coccoluto and Juan Rodriguez definitely had the style out there today. They were in tune with the lagoon, coming out with a lot of big moves and making it through to the semi-finals. Even though Jean-Maria Coccoluto didn't finish as the highest scorer of the day, he definitely looks like he is one of the top contenders for the podium. It seems like the Italians are on fire at this event. Matteo Dorotini stood out from the rest of the pack. Adding power, grabs and style, definitely looks like this guy has something to say here in Saudi Arabia. The winds were really strong for the initial women's heats. Shining out was Swede Natalie Lambrecht. Altogether a different professional approach from her at this event. Drinks on both tacks plus a new chromo. Of course, Michaeli Sol is safely through to the semis, but even the strong conditions tested her and she didn't land perfectly every time. Bruna Kajiya once again has shown just how much of a seasoned pro she is, timing her tricks with extreme care and patience in the lulls. She'll be extremely dangerous when this lagoon serves up its best conditions. Watch out, semi-finals will roll tomorrow.
Since 1997, we have imagined the exceptional. From our very first flight, to flying passengers to hundreds of destinations around the globe. We launched our first premium terminal dedicated to first and business class passengers and opened the world's best airport, Hamad International Airport. In 2017, we broke the record for the longest commercial flight with 9,032 miles flown and delivered unforgettable experiences to our passengers on board and on the ground. Reuniting millions of families during the pandemic. You're the reason we go above and beyond. And you've helped us become the world's best airline, a record 6 times. All this in just 25 years. Imagine what the next 25 will bring. Qatar Airways, 25 years of excellence.
Welcome back then here to the Qatar Airways GKA Kite World Tour here in Saudi Arabia at the NEOM Beach Games 2022. Let's talk very briefly to you about actually what's happening here at the Beach Games, because this is very special. It's not just kite surfing that's happening in the world. There's actually 5 events, including kite surfing. They've got beach soccer, 3-on-3 basketball, triathlon and mountain biking, all at the top elite level, which is why our athlete villages seem to get expanded every time we go back there. They're expecting some of these athletes after the kite surfing. We started things off here, actually, Val. So kite surfing was the first of the NEOM Beach Games. What they're doing here is just really amazing. Even this 40-minute drive that we've just done from the athletes village, half an hour, maybe depends on which driver you get. They are setting up this incredible future and vision for the future with this massive, long, incredible living area which goes on for hundreds of k's, where people will live with gardens on the top. And this area, they really want to tap into the amazing scenery we have here, turquoise waters, lovely mountains. And I think that if you were to come here, you know, who knows when we come back here in 5 years, or how many years it will take to finish this project, what will be happening here. But they really are combining all sorts of different sports, different ways of thinking and different cultures into this area here in Saudi Arabia. And I think that we're definitely going to be back here most often than not. But we were speaking to Natalie Lambrecht. In fact, Joe was speaking to Natalie down there on the beach before we went to an advert. And I think we should talk about her a bit, Val, because what a sort of turnaround her career's had, where she's been partaking in freestyle for some time and then really had a breakthrough, I guess, in big air. But now back to freestyle. She's performing tricks that none of the other riders are taking on here. I mean, how much has she impressed you?
Yeah, I know Natalie for quite a while, and I was also helping her here at the beach. And she's a really talented rider, no doubt about it. She just had to combine her mind and her level on the water to perform well in competition. And I think she's now, confident in competition. I think she's just handling it more than before, you know, not putting all this pressure on herself. And we can see on the water she did the first I think chroma ever we've seen on the women division. She's performing some docile tricks, really solid riding, good style, good power. I think she can do good, and she also progressed quite a lot in big air this year. She's also like a strong lady. She can handle some strong wind and have really good loops as well in big air. So she's super passionate about kiteboarding as well. Always motivated to go out, no matter the conditions, strong wind, light wind. So it's a good person as well to go in a trip with and
very multi-talented, and for so long all the talk's been about Kylie Sol, and correctly as well. You know, she's really been dominating the scene. But even just whilst I listen to you talk about your opinions of Natty there, to even hear that she's the first one to put that trick in there. We haven't heard those sorts of things for quite some time, right? You know, to hear that somebody else is actually bringing new things. It's been solely down to Mika for so long.
Yeah, for sure. The girl have to compete against this beast like Mika is for sure at the top of the women division, and she's putting in new tricks in every event. She's doing some double as well. So but it's cool also because like it pushes the ladies to do something new. You know, they have to really push the boundaries to find new tricks to add something. You know, so it's also I think cool for the ladies division to have someone like Mika that is at the top for sure, and it's gonna be hard to reach her level, but at least it's pushing all the riders to perform and to
think differently,
to go out of the comfort zone, you know.
Yeah, and to think outside the box, not literally, but to be thinking about, you know, what can I be doing here that maybe she's not doing. She's been on top for quite some time now, a world champion, freestyle, big air. I mean, she was nearly world champion, I think, in the strapless surf as well. She's so multi-talented, and I'm not sure if we're going to catch up with her shortly, but it makes complete sense also to talk here about one of the riders that has been in the game for a very long time in the female division here, Bruna Kajiya. And we had the most epic first heat of the ladies competition here just yesterday. And wow, that was unbelievable. That could have been a final because we had Francesca Bonoli, who's been in the scene, also had a bit of a break, actually. We had Bruna, Kajiya and Natalie all in the first heat. It was unbelievable. It was so much fun to talk about. But Bruna came up on top in that heat, really showing her experience. She's looking good here.
Yeah, exactly. Like this is what I was going to say as well. Like showing her experience in the strong wind. It was tough conditions. And Bruna was completely lit on a 7. She was riding a bow kite, which is pulling even more than a sea kite. So she was completely lit on a small kite. And whoa, we just seen a nice.
Someone
nice
just got
lurching.
dragged on the beach.
Yeah.
I think it was Gianmaria Coccoluto. He had a launch straight down the middle on an 11-meter Vegas. It wasn't who you can see on your screen. Cruz looking very comfortable, but sorry to interrupt there. We were talking about Bruna.
Yeah, and Bruna had a really, really good heat yesterday, showing she can perform her tricks in any conditions. And she did a massive slim chance to take the win with a lot of height, like a lot of power. Really impressive that she can perform these tricks like after so many years at the top. And I think it's super cool to have someone like Bruna on tour, you know, with her experience. She's also looking after everyone, you know, like trying to help the younger riders. And with a good spirit.
And this is an interesting shot for me here because this is Gianmaria Coccoluto, and he's made no secret about his intentions here of wanting to, or not even wanting to, the fact he's going to win this event. And I loved that chat with him. It really gave me an insight to the mindset I've as an athlete before, and still to some degree know to get the best out of yourself, not even thinking but making those things come true. Was something I took from that. He looks to me like he's going to be the first rider on the water, and even that to me sends a message.
Yeah, he's a rider that have a lot of motivation inside him. He wants it maybe more than anyone else, you know, and he knows what he needs to do. He did everything he needs to do, like in terms of training and time on the water. So he just need to show and to perform what he knows how to do on the water, you know. And you have to also regulate his motivation to don't, you know, keep it in the right place to perform well and not overdo as well competition. Like, I just know that if he's showing his best, he's going to probably take the win. But he needs to control his motivation and like a rage he have inside him, you know.
Yeah, he's a real Italian, I guess, would be fair to say.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of emotion in him. He's a very good talker. He's fun to listen to. Very different, actually, from everyone. He's, here he is here, just having a bit of practice in here, getting a feel for the conditions. And he's been doing that a bit this morning. One of the only riders to be out there. He loves to be on an 11-meter kite, which it looks like he's got there. And now we've moved on to, looks like Juan Rodriguez from Colombia, who's flying the flag here for Colombia, doing a lot from there. He's very proud Colombian, loves to talk to them on the interviews. Who's that sliding out?
That was Matteo.
Yeah, that's Matteo. Score 50% of this heat Italian. So how does that make you feel back home if you're an Italian listening to this? But there is Luis Alberto Cruz. So we are very close to getting started here as we see him just wash the sand off his hands. And get the windmills going to get himself up for it. We've talked about who we think may well get through in first position here. What about second? What do you think?
If I have to make a bet, I think I will say Juan Rodriguez, but we never know. But Matteo as well. Like if Matteo perform well, I think he have a good style and can also add grabs on his doubles, which Juan is not doing so much, and Alberto as well. So it's only depend on if Matteo is gonna land his tricks or not. Because I think if he's landing his strong doubles, he can really score high on his doubles. And we see now the wind is talking about the condition is dropping a little bit now. So I think he's just gonna get super good for freestyle on 11-meter kites. Whoa! And
Look like
and we just seen Alberto getting a big crash. Hope he didn't injure his ribs. No, I think it's okay.
It looked like a ribs, actually. It looked like a bit of a ribs caner. And I wonder, that almost looked like the start of the heat, but it was, I think it was just a bit of practice. Yeah, but both riders, that looked like one really to the ribs for him. But straight out the back out was that move, and then Gian Maria in the background went for his classic entry to the heat, and I thought, oh, hold on a minute, we've already got going. But here is the Colombian on your screen, Juan Rodriguez. He's really matured over I guess it's fair to say, the short period of time he spent on tour. Must have seen him maybe for 3 years or 4 maybe maximum now. I guess he's got experienced. Really happy to be here. Look, he's so happy to be here, always smiling. Great mindset, and then
he's going to change for a smaller kite, yeah. I think because it started to drop, all the riders went with the 11-meter kite, but I think it's still a bit strong for this 11. Maybe they will change for smaller, like
9, I think.
But maybe Coco is just going to keep riding on his 11 because he's a bit maybe heavier than the other one.
Okay, it is crunch time here on day 3 of the Qatar Airways GKA Kite World Tour, and we have just a message passed to us there that 3 minutes until the heat starts. And first up then will be Matteo Dorotini. Let's remind you actually how this is going to work here then, Val, because we take it in turns here on the freestyle tour, and the riders will have 7 trick attempts. Their best 4 will count, but the order is also interesting. It'll be Matteo first, then Luis Alberto Cruz, Juan Rodriguez, and Gian Maria Coccoluto. What dictates that order?
So it's you. So on the first one, it's the rankings that dictates your order. So if you got the best ranking, you're going to be the last one to jump because you can see what the others are performing, and you can just adjust what you need to do to take the lead. And for the semi-finals, it's so like the two people, the 2 riders that came first in the quarterfinals. So it's Coco and Juan Rodriguez. So Coco is first because he got a better ranking from the beginning, so he's the last one to jump. Then Juan is semi-final yesterday against Maxim, his quarterfinal, sorry. And then we have the two second, which is Alberto Cruz and Matteo Dorotini that came second on the quarter. But for sure the orders have his importance, but also depend, because when you're the first one to jump, if you perform a big trick straight on the beginning, you also put pressure on the other riders, even though you don't have the control of what they're doing. And it's maybe for sure better to know what you need to do to advance. But the pressure is on when you need to perform a big trick to overtake the previous rider.
So with nothing to lose then, to the left-hand side, it's Matteo Dorotini. He will be coming up on your screens nicely there then, and it is second there, Luis Cruz from the Dominican Republic. Nicely in correct order here. Juan Rodriguez in Colombia, and in 4th, and you called that, always riding more than most, Val. He was actually in his wetsuit during this photo here. Gian Maria Coccoluto. There are your 4 riders in this first heat. It's nice to see lots of the locals have come out down here early already to, well, not actually so early today, 11:30, to come down and watch this. So the 3 riders head out onto the water now, and it looks like he's going to go for a right foot forward start potentially here, Matteo Dorotini. There's the other 3 riders who aren't going to trick just yet. And the rider out of your shot is the Italian that's had a great run here into the semi-finals, just waiting on the beach, perhaps, unless I've missed him. Maybe he is already out in the water.
Matteo, yeah.
Oh, yes, that's right. There's another red north on the beach.
Yeah, I think
probably his teammate.
All the caddies are, you see, with a kite in the air. With a smaller kite actually than the kite they are riding now. And Matteo is going to go for his first tricks as soon as the green flag is going to be up. What are your prediction? What do you think he's going to start with?
I'm not sure actually what he's going to start with. I don't know him as much. I haven't really done as much background on him. But 5 seconds in actually, I'm being told now, until the start here of the semi-finals, where he will have, let's remind you, 40 seconds to perform his move. I think we might see
3-1-7, no?
3-1-7, left foot forwards. That's your call.
Yeah, I think 3-1-7, yeah.
Yeah, it's not really so much into the singles or the back mob fires, I don't think. I think he's more of a double player. So let's see.
Yeah,
good shout here. Wow. Oh, he's got through that. That was it's going to be down, scored a little bit on that butt check possibly, but he held on to that.
Yeah, we saw like he got a good pop, and I think then he got the gust, so he couldn't get this slack on the second pass. So he forced it, so that's why he just was missing a bit of rotation and landed a bit on the side. So I think that's going to make the scores go down quite a lot. So it's not a crash, but put some point on the ladder, but it's definitely something you need to to remove from your 4 best tricks at the end of the heat if you want to advance in a final.
Do you think he'd be happy with that start?
It's not the ideal thing to don't land a clean tricks, but we see Alberto Cruz 3-7.
He'll be happy with that.
Yeah, I would be happy with that. But you see, this guy didn't need slack to perform these tricks compared to Matteo.
He creates his own slack, I think it's fair to say, Alberto Cruz. So only a 4.07 for Matteo Dorotini, which you can see nicely up there. Ignore that flashing timer up there because there is no timer here really, apart from the 40 seconds that the riders will get to perform their moves. And they know when to go because they'll actually see the previous score come up. So Alberto Cruz going into the lead with a 6. It's quite low for a double really, but it was cleanly landed. Maybe they want to see more distance, more power in that move, and he may well be looking to boot that one out as well. So that's Juan Rodriguez now, just waiting.
I think the judges are also looking for, that you don't use your kite so much, and you see that Alberto was putting his kite high and then sending it down, and they want you to start with the kite low from the beginning, that dictates the angle of the tricks. And it's interesting to see that Alberto is not even riding with a C kite that he could, because Rush have a pretty good C kite.
This is big.
Yeah, nice backside 7. I think he's going to take the lead with that.
Easy, going to take the lead with that. What a great start for Juan Rodriguez, who would be one of the favourites to make it through this heat. And I'm going to say I would bet my house on this being a front blind mob from Gian Maria. If he feels confident, he'll stick a grab in there as well. Because that's how he always starts, is it? In fact, this will be interesting, more so if he doesn't land it, which doesn't look very odds on because he always seems to land this. So far here, 100% success rate. He can get big scores from this move, and that's reflected by the fact he'll choose to grab the board on the way round. But he said to me, if this trick goes well, I feel good. So it'll be interesting to see if it doesn't go so well. But he's just now waiting his turn on the beach. So we want to see the green Vegas of Gian Maria. There it goes. Nice camera work there as he rides off. It's all about takeoff, I guess, for him. Talk me through this one then, Val.
Yes, it's going to be from blind mob. Nice. Perfect with a kite low. So it's interesting to say why these front blind mobs, when they perform well like this, they maybe sometimes cause as much as the backside 7. It's because the technicity of this rotation is way more complicated than just do a rally and pass the bar twice, And when you add a grab to these tricks, it just becomes super complicated, and it have to be at the perfect timing if you don't want to over-rotate, to miss this last rotation to put this mob on, And you see, okay, I got a 6-10. Yeah, I think it was not as high as the one from yesterday, but still, you see he scores more than Alberto Cruz double.
Here's Dorotini then, coming in. Looks like he's lining up a slim 7, but just can't pull that one off as he goes down there, and that is going to count as a 0 and be one of, hopefully for him, just 3 or less crashes for him. And we go straight in to Alberto Cruz on the camera because he knows he may as well go. He can go straight away now. Judges won't have to confer about what they score that last move, and he heads out right foot forwards, and a left-hander as well, so we might be seeing a slim 7 possibly here.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, Akoi, he looked like he had that in the bag there. He's going to be a bit upset with that. He looked like he had the move absolutely perfectly down. Missed the bar. We talk about missed the bar, Val. What does that mean?
So, yeah, basically when you perform a trick, you like in freestyle, we almost always have a bar pass in the back. So we have a leash in case you miss the bar, but imagine you perform the trick without the leash. If you just miss the bar, the kite will just fly away. So yeah, if you don't grab the bar at what it is, then it counts as a crash, because without the leash it will just fly away. And we see double Interberger mob 5 from Juan Rodriguez. Interesting to see. As the judge say at the briefing this morning, they don't want to see a spin to win, They want to see trick with good execution, good rally. So I'm wondering what the scores they're going to put on this one. But you see a low 6 because we didn't see a proper rally before,
Looking at my notes then of Gianmaria Coccoluto, and from watching him at this event so far, this is very likely to be a backside 317 we're about to see here. This is his classic start to the heat, front blind mode, backside 317. Get out the way, I'm going right foot forwards. He's not waving to Mamma Mia there. He's telling someone, look, I'm coming right foot forwards there. Just get on the other side. So hopefully that doesn't slightly get in his head for this one here, as Gianmaria Coccoluto accelerates out to sea, heading in the south-westerly direction. It's a great takeoff, backside
Nice.
317, controlled the landing. Corey made that look easy.
Yeah, and like from, maybe you didn't see from the on your screen, but the travel from his backside 7 was insane, and the kite was just didn't move 45 degrees in front of him. So I think for me, he might score a bit more than the one from Juan Rodriguez. More control, perfect landing, perfect kite control, and yeah, it's over the 8 now from the first score that appears on the screen.
Classic start then from Gianmaria Coccoluto here in the semi-finals of the Qatar Airways GKA Kite World Tour in NEOM, Saudi Arabia, for the first time for the NEOM Beach Games. And this is getting very exciting. If you have just joined us wherever you are in the world, welcome to our live stream. What a time to join us in the first semi-final of the men's today. Coming up, we'll have the second semi-final. The ladies will go out for the semi-finals, and we will bring you the finals of this very exciting freestyle discipline, which has been craving some action. Dorotini's up next. We've just got his takeoff. Great timing. Slim 7 again. Looked like the kite may have been the problem there. Slightly raised up in the sky. So he's had a second crash in a row, and he'll be upset about that. I think it's his first semi-final as well. So it's
yeah, I think it's his first semi-finals. You could see like he's maybe want to go a bit higher than what he does normally, you know, instead of doing what he knows how to do perfectly. Maybe he's a bit doesn't get enough wind with his 9 meter like we see on the beach. He got a 10 in the air. So yeah, he's actually on a 9, and yeah, maybe gonna switch for the 10.
Cruz comes in or goes out.
Slim 7, this one is landed.
Cool, and he had to work hard for that landing there. The kite really, the bar really just pushed out to the side of him there. They can easily go wrong, it looks like, on the landings there, but Cruz will be pretty stoked with that, as we see some running on the beach in front of us here down to Dorotini. It's, he won't be up next, but Dorotini may well be looking at a pit stop. They're talking to him. I think that's is that Banoli having a chat with him down there, maybe giving him a bit of advice. He's been in semis and finals plenty of times, but this man here on your screen.
Yeah, because everything's still possible for Matteo. I mean, you have 2 crash and 1 4, so you need to perform 4 good tricks in a row now, but you know, it's as soon as you still can do it, it's not over, you know, so it's probably what you say, you know, we saw like touching your head, so yeah, it's in your head, you can do it, come on, and no run. I think he's going to go for this 3-7.
Here he goes in, searching for somewhere to take off. Look at that edge, bearing off now, physically remove himself from the harness and the bar.
Wow,
319. What a time for that on his third move then, Juan Rodriguez. He's really taken it to the other riders there, Val.
Yeah, so he really showing that he wants his spot in the final. This one was really nice. Kite position, kite angle was perfect, good travel, perfect landing, kite was going down. We're going to see a high score on this one, and I see already a 8 coming.
Cool, that was a good move. And we didn't tell you actually Alberto Cruz getting a 7.07 for his previously to that as well. But on your screens now, Gianmaria Coccoluto. Let's take a look, see what he's thinking about here. Am I going to find
I think
in
319
time?
as well.
Yeah, 319. Looks at odds on. Good takeoff. Good chance here. Had to stop there at 317, but he won't be too fast. The luxuries these riders have to decide if they go round the extra rotation.
Yeah, I think he just missed a bit the pop, so at the end he saw he didn't get the eye to perform the last rotation to do a 9. So it's, I would say, only a 3-7 because we are used to see Coco doing some bigger tricks. But yeah, 3-7 still a pretty big score. 6. And we have Matteo Dorotini. So I need to learn these tricks. Kite is a bit high. It's only a slim 5 now. But come on, it's not over yet. You can never know what can happen. But it's going to be hard now for Matteo because it's going to be two tricks on the board that are, yeah.
He'll be gutted, right? He's coming to the semi-final. He wants to do his best, and it'll be a tough place for him to be. Now, all he can do is do his best, like you said, to get through to the end of this heat. But it's
yeah, there's nothing to lose anyway. You need to try to do your best tricks, and
you never know. You never know what can happen here. The other riders still haven't got 4 clean tricks on the board, you know. So until that happens here, you don't know. But here is Alberto Cruz.
I think he's going to go for the backside 7.
Yeah.
Really interesting to see. Wow, it's a backside 5.
Yeah. I think you got a great shot there of how what the judges are after the riders to really get laid out into that Rayleigh position. Not so much so from Alberto Cruz, keeping his core close to the bar, and that's perhaps why he doesn't score as much as the other riders, but he always lands.
Yeah, he always lands. He also, like, he's one of the smaller riders, but he's one of the riders with the biggest stance as well on his board, so that makes his style unique, you know. But yeah, he just rides the way he rides and doesn't really care about like what's happening.
He's a household name in freestyle, I'd say, in the competition scene. We've seen his name for years, I reckon over a decade in freestyle. One of the many Dominicans that you see and hear about so often. But on your screens right now is Juan Rodriguez, currently leading this heat. He's having a great performance here, the Colombian rider. Here he comes, unhooking. Looks slim.
His kite is a bit high, but still performs the tricks.
His kite was a bit high there, Val. Let's explain to the viewers here why that will deduct him some points.
Okay, so when you go for like a unhook tricks, let's call it wax style tricks, you know, when you unhook and do your pop, the kite angle at the beginning and doing the tricks kind of dictate your position doing the trick. So if the kite is like above like 11 or like a bit up 45 degrees, let's say, then you're a bit hanging by the kite doing your tricks. So it makes the movement less fluid, you know. So that's why we call it kite height. I mean, the kite was not at 12 for sure, but a bit higher than what we like to see. He still got 7 because he got a lot of height, but I think if the kite was going more down with the height he had, he could have continue and keep on rotating and maybe land on a 9. I think that's what he was looking for. But yeah, it's still a 6.8, you see, but with a kite lower, he should have score higher on the 7.
Is it possible we could think of this like maybe performing your moves behind a boat where the rope is really low compared to maybe a really high cable park where we're getting a bit of assistance on the way up, or even more with a kite getting pulled into the air? We're not getting that super concentrated rotation. But here is Gianmaria Coccoluto.
Hard attack 5.
Hard attack 5. How about that for a bit of style and control? Just holding on there in the landing to blind, just showing how comfortable. I mean, what is going through his mind now?
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, I'm always impressed of the control you have to land in blind. Like, I mean, most of the riders, this height, this speed, they will pass the bar in the air, you know, to have more control, you know, get it done. But he can just, land in blind, super control, no spray on the landing, and he just got one of the strongest blind landing on the kiteboarding scene, I would say, and it makes the trick super stylish as well, and shows that you have a lot of control.
Interesting there. Just saw that score get bumped up a little bit there. Perhaps one of the scores wasn't in perfectly. It's still actually getting bumped up on my screen here. It's going. I felt that was a big move there. The style and the control he landed. It's. I guess this is all of the 5 judges' scores coming in. As I'm fixated on that 7.90. Will it go any higher? It does. It goes to 8.03. So. It's gone up and up and up, and I think it was, for me, definitely in the 8s. But meanwhile, we're back to Matteo Dorotini. He really needs to land something now.
It's only a backside 3, so I think it's over now for Matteo. He'll not be able to make it, but maybe he can still try to reach this 3rd position, which give a 5th place and not a 7th place if you came 4th from your semi-final. So it's also something he can maybe think about, you know.
I'd like to see him come in and take his 10 now, personally. I think we've got Gian Maria on an 11. I mean, there are some. I mean, you've got to take what you're comfortable, let's be honest. But I think the power that we can see so far from the other riders, I think that's maybe why he's finding it challenging out there at the moment. I think he's on a 9.
Yeah, he's on a 9, but the wind is, you can see, slowly dropping to. So it's perfect for freestyle now. But obviously, you need to take the good size of kite. And I would say when you hesitate between two kite in freestyle, wow, That was massive, but
he still got through it. But
yeah.
we got a great shot there of seeing the board actually come up and out of the water. So if he gets any score at all here, they want to see that board in contact with the water. So that was a KGB 7 attempt, probably sort of quit out on the 5 eventually from Alberto Cruz, and I don't think that's going to be one of his biggest scorers. So we're starting, Val, to see this heat shape up in the way that we predicted, perhaps maybe not with Juan leading, but there is barely anything in it from those two riders. 0.27 between Gian Maria and Juan Rodriguez, who starts his 5th trick now.
Wow, at attack 7, that was a good one. That was a really good one. So I mean, this one, let's see how the judges score that, because he did a 180 degrees rotation more.
He liked it
than Coco, but a bit less control, on the landing than Coco's at attack 5 when he landed blind with super control kite. So he should score a bit higher, but not crazy higher than the one from Coco, as you have a bit less control, I would say.
So the score that you can see on your screens is the combination of their 4 best moves for these riders. It's a total out of 40 points. Anything we saw really over 30 earlier on. Again, as Gian Maria Coccoluto saying, just get out onto the other side here. My time has started and you're still riding left foot forwards towards me. He wants as much space as possible when that timer goes down, and he's still waving as if to say, look, I don't... Is it possible that it's actually the wake of the other rider that's maybe he's saying, I don't want to... Look, you can see that white line of the other rider. He doesn't want to be taken off on anything there. So here he goes then. Unhooking, looks like a KGB 5 here. Nice. Lovely control. He really absorbs the landing through the knees well. Because his kite is low, so he just has to really absorb that landing. But second time we've seen him waving someone out the water, but it doesn't seem to be bothering him.
Yeah, I think it's still bothering him. I think I know Coco, and he recently was mostly doing KGB 7 than KGB 5 when the conditions get good, and which is what we have now. And yeah, for sure, when you in competition, you don't want any white spray and some little waves. When you have a flat spot like this, like a little wave can annoying you during the pop, and yeah. So this is why, I think he was waving to say Juan to go away because the time counted from Coco. So. That Interbogum of 5.
Nice. He'll be happy with that to get that move on the board. We'll see. Quite hard to see from here the kite position, but nice for him to have a landing there.
Yeah, he's putting some score on the board, even though it's for sure he's not battling against Juan and Juan Maria for the first place. But yeah, so I think we just see now that Juan Rodriguez got a 8.8 on his at attack 7. So yeah, he's for now leading the hit. It's going to be interesting. I think Coco still have 3 more attempts. Oh no, 2 more attempts. Let's see what is he going to bring. Because I'm sure Coco wants to win this hit. And through a 9 from Alberto Cruz. It was not the smartest move, as he already had a 3 and 7, so we can remind everyone that there are tricks categories. So if you perform already a front side 3 and 7, and you do a front side 3 and 9, so you add 180 rotation for sure, only one of these two tricks is going to count at the end. So no, he just improved his 6, but he only have 3 scores on the board. So I don't know, I reckon it's better to put 4 score on the board first, and then you improve your best tricks. This is what we saw from Juan and Coco. So I think Juan Rodriguez is not going to go for KGB 7 or KGB 5 to improve his 3 and his slim 7 or 3 and 9 he had.
Here he goes then, nice takeoff here, Val. KGB, just I got stuck maybe a little bit there on the way round that KGB 7 he would have likely been after. And do you think that happened? Do you think he got stuck slightly on the way around, or he just came out of it and thought, I'm not going to make it?
No, I think it's also like the KGB 7, it's only a matter of timing, So if you go for the second pass a bit too early, then you get stuck in KGB 5. So I think that's what happened. He was still quite high, and he went for the pass and got stuck, He, instead of maybe waiting to going down and go for the pass and straight to the 360. So yeah, you can see these freestyle tricks are super precise, and if you pass the bar a little, half second too early or too late, then the trick is not going to be perfect or not landed perfectly, and this is just what happened now. I think we're going to see a slim 9, I think, from Kokoruto, slim 7 grab.
Already with good scores on the board then. He's looking to upgrade the 6.13. Here he goes, coming in. Nice takeoff.
Nah.
Not high enough.
I think the wind is really going down now. As we see going here on the left, riders are missing a bit of wind. And I reckon if Coco's maybe changed for the 13. Because yesterday was the same when I was out there. Like jumping to the right was okay because you got the gust at the point, but coming in, you needed a bit more wind. So maybe for the left foot forward tricks, to get higher, like bigger sizes would be maybe better.
Dorotini takes off on the water then, the young Italian rider, Matteo Dorotini, right foot forwards, just working the kite a bit more up and down there. Very well noticed, Val, with the wind. Just looks like it started to change as well and gone a little bit more to the north. But
KGB.
Cruz with, was that Cruz with a KGB?
No, that was Dorotini.
It was Dorotini.
Yeah, for his last trick attempt in the final. And now we're going to have the last tricks from Cruz. Let's see what he needs to do to advance, because we never know with those Dominicans. So he need an 8.73 to beat Kokoluto. So
it's got to be a 9.
It's got to be a 9, but yeah, Luis can do it. You know, he can do a KGB 7. He can do something big. So yeah.
Kokoluto again, back to the beach. Where's my 13? I reckon that's what. Where's my 13, or what's the scores? Because you know we say he's got to go for a 9 here to the other rider, Cruz, but Kokoluto will have the chance to respond. And let's take a look then at Cruz coming in left foot forwards on the water. Big moment in this heat.
He's going KGB 5. It's not going to be a 9 for sure. The kite was a bit high, but he's still going to score quite well and he's going to perform, like maybe a 7 or something.
But the other riders now can relax and know that they're in the first and second position.
Yeah,
it's a nice feeling when you know.
If you look at Ron, super happy.
He's in the final.
Yeah.
Yes, happy. He's got always stoked, and he's made it into the final really comfortably here.
Yeah, he just shows that he deserves to be in the semi, deserves to be in the final. Solid hit from him. We haven't seen him perform some 3 and 9 before competition, but now he just shows that he can do it. At attack 7, 3 and 9. That's what you need to do to be in the final, and just done it super nicely. And now just one more tricks, I think, for fun. Yeah, for the blind mob. And I think Coco wants to take the lead. What trick does he need to do? Take the lead?
Yeah, you think he's thinking like that? Does he need to take the lead? Why would it be an advantage to him to win this heat?
So, yeah, as we said before, if he wins this heat, he's going to go... he's going to jump on the last... He's going to be one of the last one to jump in the final. But if he comes second, he's going to be the first one to jump in the final. And, yeah, as we said, it's always better to be the last one to jump than you can see what you need to do to take the win. But no, it's just going to go for...
Pete Rose.
I think he wanted to go for a pitch was 5.
He's annoyed with himself.
Yeah, he's not happy about his hit because...
He knows he could have had that little bit of an advantage in the final, which does help here, just being able to look at the other riders and know. But that brings us to a close then, Val, and I believe that you are about to go down there and support one of the athletes. Who is it you're going to be helping in that next
heat? I'm going to help my friend Arthur, that is out there, and Maxime as well. So, it's time for me to go and help from the beach. It was cool to see this hit with you and be in the live. Some great action, and I think the second semi-final is going to bring some good one as well.
Always a pleasure to have you in here, Val. Thanks very much. See you soon. Enjoy this heat. Oh, we've got another man coming in here to help me in the commentary. All right, we're seeing some great replays of action on your screen there from the last heat. Super slow-mo. And Gianmaria Coccoluto, there he is with just a slim 5 on screen. One of the very few crashes. Well, I don't even know if he scored a crash for that. Still hasn't actually got a 0. And here we go with the front blind mobe. From Juan Rodriguez, some nice replays here. And the Pete Rose at the end. He wanted more though, the Gianmaria Coccoluto. And these riders now just getting down on the beach and getting ready for their interviews, which I'll be told to pass over shortly. You can see the crowds there joining to the right-hand side, coming to watch as the tide just dropping out. There is Maxime Chablot in your screen with the... he loves to wear his sun hat on the water, very signature look. Lots of action going on here in the live stream booth as we have a bit of a crew changeover. I can tell you now that my request for the aircon to go on has come in. The aircon has gone on. The sound man doesn't like it so much, so you can hear the little buzzing. So he tried to keep that off for as long as possible, but it's midday here now, and my request via any channels I had to the outside world has been fulfilled, and I'm now sitting here with another member of the another athlete actually, which I'll introduce very shortly, but I believe we are going to go down to Joe very soon for the interview with the winner of that heat, which was Juan Rodriguez. He's just to the right of your screen right now, and he's preparing to talk to Joe about that win, which puts him straight into the final, which he'll be very happy about. The Colombian, very proud Colombian. I'm sure we're going to see a message or hear a message here to the people at home. Counting him down on the beach now. Even I've got the sign to pass down to him. Let's go down to Joe and speak to Juan Rodriguez.
I am standing down here on the beach with our 2 first grand finalists, Juan Rodriguez and Gianmaria Coccoluto. Congratulations, guys. You have made it through to the finals here in NEOM. Juan, coming out with that first position, it definitely looks like hard work pays off. Congratulations.
Thanks, man. I'm really happy for my hit because it's all riders is training and competing and get the high score. That's why I improve myself. I have a lot of adrenaline inside me, so that's why it's incredible, man. Thanks a lot.
Congratulations, Juan. And I'm going to move it over here. Gianmaria, you are one of the guys to beat out there, but this guy gave you a run for your money, yeah?
In the water, yeah, it was really hard with this guy in my hit, but I did my super solid trick because I saw the other also do some crash. So I say I go safe, but I will send in the final. I take the first place.
Well, boys, we're going to cut it short. I want you to do just one thing. Make it through in those finals and absolutely send it. Congratulations, guys. Juan, good luck. Lewis, back to you.
Thanks very much, Joe. Looked like a backside 317 that I caught out the window there of Maxime Chablot. But I am joined now by a very special rider, only 13 years old, already getting to the quarterfinals. Welcome to the live stream booth, Flynn Flogel. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing great, Luis. Yeah, we're going to watch now the second semi-final, like with Artur and Carlos and who's Emmanuel, I think, and Maxime Chablot.
Yeah, this is going to be an exciting semi-final. Who do you think is going to take this one?
Oh, I think like Manuel is a really consistent rider with Carlos, the Brazilians. But I think Maxime and Artur really like also getting like that trick, so it will be a tight one probably.
Yeah, as we just saw, we thought Coccoluto would take the win, but he ended up in second. But meanwhile, let's get to the big deal. Front blind mode then for Artur Gilbert. It's one of his go-to first moves to get comfortable out there. Any ideas what you think this might score?
Oh, probably like a 6.5, maybe around that. Like it was a really clean one with good kite position.
How does it feel to be out there? We've got you in the booth here, another rider that's been out on the water. What does it feel like to be out there here? Is it warm out there?
Oh yeah, it's really warm actually. Like it's really nice conditions. Also, like in the morning, it's a bit stronger, but then it slightly drops off afternoon. So yeah, it's actually a good condition now. Looking like 20 knots, perfect for freestyle.
And the wind just moving around a little bit more to the north for me. So the rider's almost stacking a bit more perpendicular with the beach. It starts a bit more in the morning north, sort of northwest. And so there's a bit more of an angle out to sea. We're in an interesting stage of the day now where the wind does change. There's a lovely shot from our drone pilot as we can see riding left foot forwards in here. Manuel Suarez coming in left foot forwards. Lots of power, unhooking, going straight into a 3-1-9. He pulled out the extra 180. What a move. You look shocked at that one, Finn.
Oh yeah, massive one, definitely. Like we're gonna get a good score on that one.
Why do you think he's going to get a good score on that one?
Kite position and like a good takeoff and not moving his kite too much, like what the judges want to see, definitely.
Lots of commitment, speed. You know, we had a great shot of that here. And it will be down to Carlos Mario now, former multiple world champion, who just waits. He's looking over to see the score there from Manuel Suarez, which is a 7.87, because he doesn't mind so much about the score, but it just tells him, right, as soon as that score comes up, the 5 judges have obviously scored the move, and it's down to him for his 40 seconds now, which he looks very likely to start off right foot forwards. What do you think we're going to see here, Finn?
Oh, I think maybe backside 7 probably, like he done it a lot and like really consistent.
Here he is then. Very good shout there, Finn. You got that absolutely right. And what do you think we should score him there? Actually, maybe let's not. We'll just let the judges get on with that. But I think that's going to be into sort of over the 7.5s and upwards at least. Maybe even into the low 8s possibly. It was a very controlled move. Good start for him.
Yeah, definitely a good start. But I think still Maxime is in the first position with his good heart attack 7 in the beginning. But yeah, probably a hard tight heat.
Yeah, this will be a hard one because all of these riders, I think Arthur Gilbert is current world champion.
Yeah, he's current world champion right now. Like, it was bigger in Tarifa and just the super kite in Brazil, but he's got both, like, bigger and freestyle, so it's good for him, definitely.
So we've got multiple world champions off the scale in here because Maxime Chabot, not a kite surfing world champion to my knowledge, but a ski world champion as well. It's only Manuel Suarez that I don't think has a world championship, but he's actually leading the tour this year after that win in Colombia.
Yeah, definitely. The win in Colombia was a tight one also, but he did it, like, actually. Now let's watch Maxime Chabot. Oh, nice 319 also. Oh, clean one, definitely.
And a word with himself when he landed there, like a real nice one. That's good. Yeah, he'll be really... Look at these scores to start off with it. 8.17, 8.17, 7.87 and 6.70 already on the board here. So this second semi-final has really exploded into action here. Welcome to everybody here at the Qatar Airways GKA Kite World Tour in NEOM at the Beach Games. This is pretty exciting times here in the freestyle discipline, which is really in the spotlight here in Saudi Arabia for the first competition ever here in history. I'm Lewis Crathen and I'm joined by Finn Flogel talking you through the action today. We'll have the ladies semi-finals coming up after this one. We'll maybe bring you the finals, which I think are on the cards here. We've got about 20 knots of wind from the north, and on your screens is Arthur Gilbert, all the way from France, the current world champion, which had some big air elements to it last year. So we're testing out his freestyle discipline here, and he goes straight into, looks like a backside 317 attempt, but could only stop on the backside 315. Finn, what happened there?
Oh, probably like his body was a bit too straight. He didn't stay in the small position, but yeah, it was a close one, I think. But yeah, the judges will not score this one that high. He probably wanted more.
Yeah, and it's going to start to want to get those moves cleanly landed on the board very soon because the other riders in this heat have started off incredibly well. Who have we got coming up next?
Looks like Manuel Suarez is up next.
Perhaps we see something KGB related. Oh no, it's going to be a backside 317 as well. Just working their way through the doubles early on in this heat, Finn, aren't they?
Yeah, they definitely go for it. easy tricks. Like I would say, it's not easy definitely, but for them it's not too hard probably. But they're going good. Like in the moment, like they get big scores on the board.
Yeah, good start. Remember, only the top 2 will advance into the next round, so which is the final. Top 2 will be going. Will be guaranteed a place inside the top 4. It will be a 4-man final, which is always interesting because you know you want to be at least in the top 3. Some of these will only want the first, but you want to be in that top 3 for sure. So let's see what's happening here then, as Carlos Mario just waiting in the water. Or is that, no, that's Manuel Suarez. So perhaps we've missed something here, Finn.
Oh no, like in the moment it's Carlos waiting, I think, but Manuel just came from his trick bag. Now, yeah, Carlos is riding on. I think he's up next.
He's going to go left foot forwards in here, and I think he's going to go for something slim chance related. What do you reckon?
Oh yeah, probably, but he's also
Awesome.
really got the Hinterberger mob, so let's see what he's up to.
Yeah, well, good shout that, Finn. Wow, lovely. Intermobe 7.
Definitely a hard one and a clean one. Not many riders like it, but I think it's one of his favorite tricks, probably.
There's the lovely shot from our drone then. It is a beautiful location, this. The first time, as I'll say many times again, in the distance there is Maxime Chablot. Just sinking down, waiting for his time, getting ready to perform his move left foot forwards on a port direction here. He's got that signature sun hat. The freestyle ski world champion really looking for a good result here. He's just waiting for that score. You can see it. Oh, look at that nice bit of nature in the background. I'm not sure what the name of that bird is, but it just gives you a nice feeling for just how much they do care about nature around here in Saudi Arabia. Everything looks nice and clean, untouched, and it's lovely that we've just been welcomed to get out there and join nature as kiteboarders here with this very first event here in Saudi Arabia in the wonderful NEOM. Here he comes then, accelerating into the box, left foot forwards, Maxime Chablot. Are we going to see this double half cab mobe? Is it too early for that?
No, I think maybe a back mob he hasn't really clean, I think.
Didn't
Like probably double half cab mob maybe later on. Oh yeah, it's a back mob 5, 7. Oh!
He must have felt good on the way round there to have gone into that. Do you think he was eyeing that up before he popped there?
Or maybe, I'm not really sure, but like it's definitely a hard trick not many riders can do. But I think maybe you want to go for back mob 7 actually. Like he hasn't quite consistent.
Yeah, and he's one of the only riders that does do that move. And that just interested me. Possibly he's looking at the situation here and thinking, right, I'm up against all these other riders. I'm going to need scores, at least 4 over 7s maybe, to try and guarantee my way into the final. A back mob 5 won't cut it. Maybe he's given himself 2 attempts at that move just to take that one as a crash. Because to me, that looked like he had the back mob 5 all day long. He could have taken that, but perhaps there was no intention at all of the back mob 5 there. He doesn't even bother with that. He just goes straight for the back mob 7. I think we're going to see him try that again, Finn.
Yeah, probably for sure. But now we have Otto Gilbert here riding on.
Here he goes then, unhooking straight into our live stream. But he looks good, this one. Oh, wow. That was a class landing there on a 319. What do you think of that, Finn?
That one was massive. Definitely get a big score on that one, but definitely big.
Cool, and he's obviously riding on a bit of adrenaline here, because I can tell you some insight here on the coach this morning with all of the crew and the athletes. He was heavily strapped up on his knee. He took quite a big landing. I thought I'd try and be clever and say something along the lines of take it easy today, but with a massive 319 there, he's obviously gone to another place here with the pain, and he's just bossed a massive score in there, 8.70. That may well be one of the biggest scores we've seen in Saudi Arabia so far.
Yeah, definitely. Like it was a big score into UFC now for 319 actually, but yeah, now with Louis and Manuel Suarez, I'm sorry, all going big. Heart attack 7.
Whoa.
Oh, whoa.
Cool, a lovely bit of kite control there if you watch that carefully at the end there. Just reaching forwards and pulling the float so quickly, almost by instinct, to keep the tip of the kite off the water. That was a big move, and these riders are starting to react to one another now. Finn, what do you think this is going to score? That was huge.
Well, probably like over an 8.5 definitely. It's going to be a big score for him.
Yeah, puts him in the lead at 9.20. Wow.
That was the biggest score we had until now. Like, we're getting the 9s here.
It's going crazy. We might even see a 35-point plus score here. And what is... God, I thought he was going to set up for some sort of kite loop there. But here goes Carlos Mario, 319. And he looks very comfortable out there. I almost want to call him a veteran, but I think he's in his early 20s still.
Yeah, definitely he looks younger. 8.7 maybe.
So Carlos Mario completes his third move here. So they've all got... that's not a hard maths, 4 moves left to do. And there's lots of landed scores on here. There's not really been any major wobbles yet. So coming in left foot forwards now will be Maxime Chablo. No, won't it be Arta? Arta should be up next or not?
No, I think it's Maxime waiting.
Okay, no, you're right. The order I have here isn't the one I should be looking at. So Maxime, will he try it and go for that back mob 7 again, or will he just try and go on something else?
Oh, I think probably back mob 7 because his ball, maybe you can see it's like a bit twisted. I think maybe he will go for back mob 7, maybe. Going in with speed a lot. Oh yeah, back mob 7.
Oh, he just couldn't ride through it. Finn, that was an incredible piece of detail that you just gave me, one that I hadn't actually noticed. You've just mentioned there that you saw his bar already twisted. Tell me more about that.
Like, I mean, for back mobs, probably, like, I can't do him that good, but, like, for them, like, when you go back mob 7, I think it's easier to even twist your ball, so when you, like, go for the 7, like, you don't, like, touch your ball wrong, so your kite just steers down, you get a back edge or a front edge.
Okay, we'll talk you through this move here, right foot forwards first, which is another huge move then from Arthur Gilbert. I'm really impressed by his riding here. He's got, you know, he is the world champion. It involved some big air last year as well, and he's been strictly focused on freestyle this year, and he's rising to the occasion. But I have to talk to you about this lines twisting. So this is deliberately pre-spinning the bar around so that you're riding into the move with your lines crossed.
Yeah, it's like riding in with your lines crossed, and then we go for, like, it's probably like 3 times back roll when you go for that 319. So it's good to twist your ball.
Yeah, that's a really nice bit of insight from one of the athletes here. Left foot forward, lots of speed then coming in. Our tour leader at the moment, Manuel Suarez. Slim 7, Slim 9 on the cards, punches the sky, and there's some elation there from him. Who knows, Manuel Suarez, that he is absolutely smashing this heat. I think he's already going to be on one of the highest scores so far. Nothing under a 7.33 will be on his 4 best tricks. This is a really exciting heat here, Finn.
Yeah, definitely. Like, it's the best heat I think we've saw in, like, in NEOM here. It's probably going to be another 9 or what we saw. Like, definitely a big one at Slim 9, taking him definitely in the lead.
It's an 8.80. Wow, I'm absolutely flabbergasted by what I'm seeing in this heat. It just keeps getting better and better and better. So unhooking, then out the back, lovely camera change there. Oh, he's just blown out on that one, Finn.
Yeah, like, just like the pop out probably from a small like chop or something, but he looked controlled actually. I saw he's going to land it like really clean.
So the first little wobble then for Carlos Mario. Do you think sometimes, Finn, when you see these other riders putting 9s and 8s on the score, it can affect some of the riders?
Yeah, probably. Like, when you see, like, some people just going for, like, 8s and 9s, just, like, it's... You know you need to push big, like, when you need to go for your tricks.
Yeah, there's riders out there now putting such big scores in that you're having to push it. Here's a rider under pressure right now, Finn. He's found himself down in 4th position so far. That's after he's had 2 crashes. He's got really only 1 more crash he can use up here. I feel this is an important moment in this competition for Maxime Chablo, the man from Switzerland. Here he goes, left foot forwards. What's he going to do? Is he going for the back mob 7? No, he's going to go for the... Oh, I think there was a grab in there too. It may well have been on the nose.
Yeah, it was a nice nose grab here from Maxime, Slim 7 nose grab. Like, he has that trick pretty consistent. Well, we saw it a lot of times in Colombia, I think. But he gonna get a good score on that one, probably over 7.5.
And he needed it right then, I think, Finn. That was a moment here. He kind of knew that he was down a bit, but he's a very experienced freestyle rider. I mean, even then, if that was crashed, it was possible to get back into this, but I don't think any of the riders like to have to know that their last moves, they've all got to be landed. He's still got something in the bank. The top riders here are landing all their moves and giving themselves a chance and breathing space to upgrade some of their scores. Here's Arthur Gilbert riding out, going for a heart attack. 7, sticks it clean. Wow.
I don't know how they do it, bro. For them it looks easy probably, but Maxime also is here in like third position, but Arthur needed also that trick. He'll probably get in second position now.
What a feeling that is. He turns around, you see his face, you see him punching the water. That is a feeling we'd love to bottle and use again, that feeling of accomplishment. He is riding to the best of his abilities here, and this is going to change around all over the shop here, I think, this. But Manuel Suarez is in the top, but the battle for second at the moment is going to rise and rise and rise as we see Manuel Suarez. How can he get even better scores than before? Front blind mobe. Oh, and a little cheeky grab in there as well. I'm not sure if he actually made contact with the board there, but there's a move we saw Carlos Mario do so frequently as well.
Yeah, it's a nice move, the front blind mobe, but it scores pretty high. I think like he knows he probably has it to go into the final, so he's probably going a bit easier, but a nice trick definitely.
Carlos Mario on your screens then currently finds himself in third place. He's got to knock out that 3.90 and it's a slim 7. He just laid that board down really nice into wrap position there. Great example, just positioning the board then going for the bar pass. He knows what he's doing in these competitions and he's got a battle on his hands here. He's yeah, look at that. It's 4 points already almost separating him between that chance to go into the final. It's going to be a 6.13 he needs to remove, but just look at those scores above him right now, Finn. This is a really high quality level heat from these guys.
Oh yeah, like we have 32 and 33 here, like, but one of Carlos, I don't know if it takes one score out of his like tricks, but probably the slim 7 was nice, not too high but good kite position. But now we have Maxime riding in.
It's focused. Are we going to see the... Here we are. Oh, I thought we were going to see the double half cab mobe. So that for Maxime is going to be the only time really now that he can just not get a really high score, because he's now having to go for it in his last trick attempts.
Yeah, definitely a last big trick for him. Just the back mobe 5, just 4.6 now. Like, he needs the last really big trick to stay in, but they're still close together, just like 4 or 5 points now here between the first one and the last one.
Arthur Gilbert will know that it is a score he can upgrade, a 6.70 then for a front blind mobe. Currently in his 4 trick attempts. This is out of 40. Everybody at home, they're getting scored out of 10 each individual trick. He's going to come back left foot forwards then, is Arthur Gilbert. We know he wants to upgrade a 6.70. He's not going to go anywhere near the 319 family or the backside rotations or the heart attacks. This is going to be a slim 7, I think, here, Finn.
Yeah, I think definitely slim 7 probably. We're going to see like riding in with speed a lot, popping and...
Oh no, it's a Hintermobe family. Oh, that is going to hurt the knee. That was a big crash there. It looked like he was going for, was that Hintermobe 7, I think, in the end, or even more, in 9?
Yeah, it looked like a Hinterberger mobe 9.
Yeah.
We didn't saw that trick a lot of times, but it was a big one.
Exploded through the water, and I guess that is... Oh, he would have definitely felt like he had one hand in the final there if he'd have landed that move. Maybe he felt more comfortable with that move than maybe the slim. But on your screens now, Manuel Suarez, who's been a standout performer in this heat. What's unbelievable. I mean, what is he even going to choose to upgrade out of those scores? It's 7.33 that he's going. Hasn't got the takeoff there, and that's a big backbreaker. Just went wrong on the takeoff there. How important is takeoff in the freestyle discipline?
Takeoff probably like 50% of your trick. Like when you take off good, it gets you a nice high score, and it's good for your trick, just like good takeoff.
Now we look at Carlos Mario. He'll be looking to upgrade his 6.13 slim 7. He's going right foot forwards. We might see something KGB related here. No, we're not. Interesting. Double heart attack.
Yeah, double heart is probably a competition weapon of him, like we saw in like the really strong wind conditions here.
So he's obviously got a plan here, Finn. He knows he's got one more trick attempt after that. So rather than blow that crash out, he's given himself a bit more. He's actually going to look like maybe upgrading one of his other moves then, do you think, here?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, like I know what he did with double heart attack. Like he needed probably something more than double heart attack. We see like Arthur Gilbert and Manuel Suarez in first and second position. Like Maxime Chablot and Carlos need a big score to like get them back in second or first position.
Here goes Maxime Chablot then. It's his final move. He currently has a back mobe 5 on the scoreboard. So he's got two options here for me, a back mobe 7 or the double half cab mobe. Which one's it going to be? He needs a big score to advance.
I think it's going to be the back mobe 7 again because it looks like the lines are twisted. I'm not really sure, but yeah, we see the back mobe 7.
Oh, he took it. The relief in his face. He absolutely needed it. We're taking a look at what he needed. He needed 4.57 on top or one of those moves before. He needed a massive score to come here to push him in to second place. As they look, the French team in front of you, that is the white t-shirt of Val Garard, and just behind him, Arthur Gilbert will be wondering when this score comes through if it's been enough to push him down into third place. This is a very tense time, massive drama here at the Qatar Airways GKA Kite World Tour in NEOM in Saudi Arabia. The French team have got their eyes fixated on the points. Can we work out what's going on with that score from their reactions? And to me, it looks like he may well have pushed himself into second place, Maxime Chablot. Let's see, because there will be an elation response if they find that he has done enough to get into the first and second position. There is a fist pump. So let's take a look. Arthur does find himself just in the lead there. So what has he scored for that back mobe 7? A 7.90. So I don't think that was enough from Maxine. And that is why there was a little hand bop to say, look, come on, you're really close to this now. Carlos Mario will need a massive score if he's going to advance as well. And I don't know if Carlos Mario can manage to do that as well. So whilst Arthur Gilbert goes out right for fours, let's take a look. Carlos Mario on my screens here needs 3.78 more to advance. But he's already got 4 tricks. So what score? It's a 6.13 is his lowest score. So to me, he needs almost a 10, a 9.8 in one of his moves here to get through. Arthur Gilbert is going for that Hinter Mobe 7. God, what a lovely clean landing. He's trying to protect it. Has that protected the route through to the final, Finn? What do you think?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure because Maxime has already his 7 tricks done. I'm not pretty sure by him.
Yes, Carlos Mario is the danger to him here that I'm referring to, Finn. I think Arthur can't be caught now. It's a front blind mobe of 6.70, which is likely to get booted out and above the 10.0 range that Carlos Mario may only be left with to get through. So, wow, this got really exciting here. But perhaps Carlos Mario might be able to target Manuel Suarez as the rider that he can push down. Only the top 2 will get into the finals here.
Yeah, now it will be interesting what Carlos is going to do. Like, Maxime didn't make it to the next round, but now we have Manuel Suarez up next. Like, KGB 5, clean landing.
I think he has to be going for a 10 here, does Carlos Mario. He's currently down in 4th place. It's his last move. He hasn't helped himself. Like we discussed, with that 6-point score 0 we saw the go in, maybe that was one better to just go for it and get an 8 in, because he's in a position now where, to my knowledge and to the screens I'm looking at in front of me, he needs a huge score. In fact, I don't think it's barely possible. He needs 4.54. I think he can do it, but I think he needs a 10 pretty much here, because his lowest score here, Finn, is a 6.13. You add that on top of that, he needs something like a 9.7 here, I think, to deal with this. Here he goes. It's got to be big for him. He's got a chance. I don't think that's going to be enough for him. Perhaps he was maybe thinking I've got to just take my medicine here and maybe just go for the 3rd place.
Yeah, probably he just was thinking like that. Like, it didn't look like he wanted to go for heart attack 7, but he'll probably get out the slim, but it will not be enough to get farther from Manuel Zars and Arthur Gilbert.
But to get into a 3rd place position, which will give him different points here, will give him a better point score overall in Saudi Arabia than finishing 4th in this heat. So I wonder if that was the tactic he just shown, to have gone and pushed it out there and maybe got a ridiculous score, which may have risked the injury as well. It wasn't to be. So incredible heat here that we've just seen in that 2nd semi-final. I'm almost out of breath here from that one, Finn. That was really special. And it looks to me like we'll be shortly passing over into the ladies. We're going to be going down and speaking to these riders there. That is, I think, the end of that heat, and we can confirm. What a heat from Arthur Gilbert. He must be thinking he's got enough to win here. Talk me through some of these replays, Finn. Maybe not that one, because he was riding around. How about this one?
It's Gianmaria Coccoluto, and was probably... No, it was just a Rady, looked like that. Yeah.
Yeah, that was one of the very few times that you see Gianmaria not actually land his move. Here's Luis Alberto Cruz, left-hander. So there we go. Not the full leg extension on that move. It was just getting yak. Oh, that's a massive caner as well. Director keen on showing you these massive crashes here. There is Dorotini. This is the previous heat replays that we're seeing now, which is an interesting time to show you these. But we will talk about them because that's what we do here. We talk about what we're given.
Yeah, Luis Alberto Cruz definitely has an interesting technique, but it looks like he's all getting their tricks done now with Juan Rodriguez.
A reminder to you then, back home, you are seeing the previous semi-final replays here, not the current ones that we've just seen. And I can see very, very busy scenes down on the beach now as we just show you some of the clips from the previous semi-final. Dorotini, tall. Tall and lanky. Lanky's not a bad word, I guess. Tall and lanky, just going through his move. Strong rider as well. And just making sure that he doesn't get injured. Joe's done well out there. He looks like he's got some translation services on the go as we're going to have Manuel Suarez and Arthur Gilbert on the beach speaking to you shortly about that. I can see the timer ticking down, which is my indication that it's time for me to shut up here now and pass you down to Joe for an interview with the riders from that heat.
Well, I'm standing here with Manuel Suarez and Arthur Gilbert. These two guys have just made it through to the big final. Manuel, congratulations, getting second position in this heat. It looks like you're in another final. You won Colombia. It looks like you're going to try and do over here in Saudi Arabia as well.
Então, você foi muito bem, passou em segundo lugar na sua bateria, ganhou na Colômbia e parece que você vai ganhar aqui também, né?
Tô muito feliz, né? Fiz a bateria ali muito boa e queria agradecer aí todo mundo que tá na torcida do Brasil e a galera também aqui que tá me ajudando, dando todo o suporte, a Estefânia. É Brasil!
There it is, Brazil, Manuel. Congratulations. I'm going to get over here. Arthur, you were last year's world champion in another final. It looked like you had a little knee tweak, but I tell you what, it definitely didn't look like out there on the water today.
Yeah, this morning I'm feeling a bit bad because yesterday I injured my knee. So yeah, I go to the water, do my best, managed to do all my tricks, and it works. So I'm in a final. I'm super happy, and yeah, go to the final.
There it is. Well, congratulations, Arthur. Great work out there. Great to see you in the final. Lewis, let's get out onto the water. Semi-final of the ladies.
Thank you very much, Joe. And here we are back in the studio here. It's Finn who has been sitting alongside me with that great insight and commentary. Finn, are you enjoying your time in the commentary booth today?
Oh, definitely. It's really cool to be here and watch all the cool riders and talk with you.
Well, we're often talking about riders on the water that are going to be major champions and the next best riders in the world, including yourself, Finn. But I can tell you now, we're going to see you in this booth plenty of the times over the course of certainly my lifetime, because you've got a great passion for talking, and it was lovely to hear that today when we thought about who can we have in the booth here. Finn, you've just jumped in and you're doing great. But what's coming up now, Finn?
And now we have the first girls final here with Alexandra Torres and Francesca Balbino and Bruna Kajiya and Rita Arnau.
And this is going to be an interesting one. We're going to have you in here just for this heat, then we're going to have another lady join us. Rayleigh to blind there to start things off for Bruna Kajiya. Was that Bruna Kajiya?
No, it was Alexandra Torres, I think, with the Irish kite here.
Thank you. I stand corrected there, Finn. Well done. So that was a good start for her, getting a point, some points on the scoreboard. Wind does look like it's dropping a little bit now.
Yeah, like today morning we didn't have the strongest day actually, but I think it's good for the ride. It's still on 11, 10 meter kites, and yeah, probably it's gonna drop off in a bit, but maybe we're gonna have the two ladies final.
On your screens then, it is Francesca Bagnoli, right foot forwards. So used to being in finals and semis. Great blind judge there, lots of power. Getting that board up behind her there. I think we're going to be in for some good heats here with the ladies. That'll put her in first place, I would have thought so far.
Yeah, it's probably going to get more than the one of Alexandra Torres, but it was a really nice extended one, but probably like a 5.0 maybe, or no, just a 3.03, or is it? I'm not
9.3, yeah, it's a tough one. I've been battling that the whole time, Finn, with some of those numbers. Yeah, so remember, reminded to you at home, if you're watching for the first time, this is the freestyle discipline, of which there's so many different disciplines in the sport of kite surfing, and this really showcases the moves which have taken their roots and origins from wakeboarding here, but we're doing it with a kite, and riders have to think fast, take off quickly, perform lots of different aerial maneuvers, passing the bar behind their backs, and here's one of the best in the world at it on your screen. Here, Bruna Kajiya starting with a front to blind, which will score, Finn. Why will that score? Oh, no, the kite's in the water. Sorry, it won't now.
Yeah, it wouldn't score now because the kite went in the water. But once you have grabbed it on her chicken loop, actually, that's where you put your kite, like your bar in your hook on your harness. We've still counted because it's still kind of count as on the bar, but yeah, like it was a crash now because the kite went in the water.
It's always an interesting discussion that if your hand's still on the chicken loop, it's deemed that you got it just before it got pulled away from you. But if it's just in front of the chicken loop on the chicken loop rope, which is the rope that runs up through the control bar, it would have pulled away from you and it would deem as a crash. But here on your screens, meanwhile, right foot forwards is Rita Arnau, who just decides that things didn't feel too good there in the water there. Lots of chop, and actually the wake of the other riders is very visible on the water there, and I wonder if that bumpy water just offset her a bit. She'll now ride left foot forwards. Great stance, doesn't she have, with a nice straight back, and I wonder if she's powered enough out there now, leaning back, trying to get edge upwind as much as possible. She looks like she's set on going right foot forwards here, Finn.
Yeah, we're probably going to see like a blind to 3 maybe, but she need more power on like 11. She's on the 9 meter, a bit small maybe, but now still having some power here. A blind judge, 3, nice one, nice extended legs, good one.
Looked like there was only one move in her mind there. Wasn't interested in a blind judge, you know, a 180-degree rotation. She wanted to go for the blind judge, you know, backside 3 there, nicely rotating round. And looked very comfortable. Are we going to see a pit stop here? This is interesting.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Rita Arnau maybe is going to change her kite size a bit, because there's still 9s a bit, but it's getting a bit more lighter now. We're going to see like 11s and 10s.
Let's remind you where we are here then in the northwestern part of Saudi Arabia. A lovely drone shot here of the riders going for it. It looks like a slim chance from Francesca Bagnoli that looks crashed in front of your screen. And what a wonderful view that was of the drone pilot. I don't mind seeing shots from him all day long as we see Alejandra Torres with 3-1-3 with a bit of a butt check. And that really showcased the wind slightly dying here, that she'd done the move, was leaning a bit further back over the hillside edge and was really desperate for that pull from the kite. But it wasn't there, Finn. The power of the kite wasn't quite there, so that will go down as a crash as well. So lots of action kicking off here in the first of the semi-finals of the ladies. Rita Arnau, Francesca Bagnoli, Alejandra Torres and Bruna Kajiya, 2 Spanish riders, an Italian and a Brazilian, all vying for a place in the final here at the GKA Kite World Tour here in NEOM at the NEOM Beach Games 2022. I'm Lewis Crathen, bringing you all of the action here, and to my right-hand side, to your left-hand side, is Finn Flogel, who is joining me in the booth today for the first time, but it feels like we've done this many times before, Finn.
Yeah, it's definitely cool to be here and help Luis here, but now we're going to watch on again on the heat here. We have Bruno, or who's up next?
That looks like Francesca Bagnoli, and they're really racing through these ladies here. And she's power. Look at the power she's got, the speed, which is exactly what the judges are going to score well if she gets a decent takeoff here, and she does. Oh, and that's a nice slim chance. That's going to be one of the highest scorers. And just look at the reaction from the Italian rider who's been out for around 2.5 to 3 years without competing in the freestyle. And that for sure is going to give her a feeling that she can and has got what it takes to get through to the final, Finn.
Oh yeah, that was going to be a big score. We see 6.6. Like, it was a good one. Kind of a bit high, but nice height and powered.
There's Bruno Kajiya. What a face of focus that is. And she's waiting. The multiple times world champion from Brazil is just waiting for that score to come in. She's seen it now, which is a bit more delayed, I think, to them than it is to us on the screens. And she has 40 seconds to perform her move, and she's going for a slim chance of her own. And I love her style and her technique through this move. She really doesn't try and force the bar behind her back. She rotates her body around the bar, which is a wonderful technique. I think that's going to score really well too. Do you think this is going to score as well as Francesca Bagnoli's, or more perhaps?
Perhaps probably a bit more, because it was like a really nice technique and the kite was low, like really low and good. Like, she has that move like...
Was well, a 6.57, very close to Francesca Bagnoli's. There was a bit of a balance that had to be played there. I think Francesca had a lot more speed in that trick and distance, but Bruno Kajiya's kite position was a bit nicer, maybe as not much nice distance. But very good move from her. Someone's taking a picture of us here in the live stream booth, so forgive us for a break for a couple of seconds, but we do want to say thanks for joining us here at this wonderful venue for the first time in Saudi Arabia.
Look at a view actually from the draw and all the water. It looks really nice.
Yeah, and you've had the luxury of being out there, Finn. I'm jealous you've been on the water, but who have we got here?
Rita now is riding in with speed. Going for the pop and going for Hinterberger Mo to wrap probably, yeah.
That's it, nice nice and controlled. There we're going to see a request for a pit stop, I believe then. So here we go, right in front of me, I can see an 11-meter Vegas being brought to her. The other riders in this heat, Bruno Kajiya, looks like she is on a 9-meter Air Rush Razor. There's an 11-meter Air Rush Razor there being flown, and that looks like a North Pulse, I believe, an 11-meter on the beach, possibly for Alejandra Torres, so she may well be on a 9 at this moment in time.
Yeah, probably like a 9, yeah, pretty sure. And here's an 11-meter Razor also for her, but now she's up next probably. Yeah, probably staying on the 9 or 10-meter.
Bit of a nod there to someone maybe on the beach that's a bit far away. I think this is a self-motivation maybe for Alejandra. Yeah, wind just dying slightly a little bit in this heat now, and that just threw a bit of a break in this heat actually, Finn, as the tension...
Yeah, probably a bit of a break now we had, like, but they're still going. It looks like a bit gusty now, but light. But yeah, probably gonna do the next semi-final. But now with Alexandra Torres with a nice Aspen to blind, but not really getting it.
Yeah, unfortunately the kite was on its way down already while she was getting around in the air there, and that was never going to be landed, unfortunately for her. It does look like an 11-meter Air Rush Razor that she is using. All different types of kites and models and brands being used by these riders here, and still interesting to see someone see kites, some not. This lady is riding left foot forward. She looks very happily powered here to me, Finn, and it might even be a 12 that she's on, I'm not sure. Flying into the box again. I love the speed that she's got. What she got for us. Nice takeoff. Hintermobe as well, but doesn't quite stick the landing, unfortunately, for her, so she can't repeat that move she saw from Rita Arnaus. And is this they're now searching for, surely they're not pit stopping again. Oh, very interesting. So on the beach, I'd love to get that shot for you here. Yes, this is great work from our director here that's keeping an eye on this pit stop here, but we must be aware of the move also going in the water. There's a 9, 10 and an 11 in the air up for Rita, and she looks happy, I think, to be riding the 11 right now. But meanwhile on the water, it's a front to blind from Bruna Kajiya that you've missed out your corner of your eye, and apologies, I was requesting to see Rita's pit stop change there, which didn't actually have gears now.
Really consistent. I'm probably going to get like
Is actually Bruna Kajiya, because those gears are oiled up and lubricated very well. She's going through comfortably. But on your screens, it is Rita Arnaus who toyed with a pit stop that I can see so far available to her on the available, or a 12. This is the 11 metre, and just a little power change on the bar there, increasing the power. You could see with the right hand as looks like she's just powering things up a little bit. Lovely shot from the drone as she turns around. Look at that crisscross of angles. Crossing someone else's wake. She'll keep the kite low now, riding left foot forward, swinging the kite visibly there for a bit of power. She looks powered here, Finn.
Oh, nice slim chance, but it's a crash now.
It's a crash and a bit of stress on the body there. That really does pull your arms out when you're under the water like that and you're holding on. Tell me, what does that feel like?
Yeah, it's definitely like in competition hard for you, but you need to work with it. Like when you go for a slim chance or any tricks, then you're just getting a bit pulled in front. It's like, you know you have the trick, and then something like that happens, it doesn't really get you a good feeling. But now they all have just 2 tricks. Like they have more tricks done, but just 2 on the board landed. Now next up, Alexandra Torres, I think. Yeah, going in with speed. Jump. And nice. Hinterberger to wrap, but not the highest one, but was a nice and clean one. Let's see the score.
It's a crucial time then in this semi-finals. Right now, Bruna Kajiya, with all of her experience, has got a hand on this position in the final. Top 2 here will go through. It's still close. Nobody's got their 4 moves on the board yet, so everything can change. Out of 10, the riders have scored for their moves, and a total of 4 of their 7 trick attempts will count, effectively giving the riders 3 crashes if they want, but they don't like to do that. They like to get the board ticking over with some good scores, and preferably being able to upgrade some of their moves already. It doesn't always work like that, and in this heat we can see all the riders have experienced 1 crash so far, and they've all landed 2 tricks.
Now with Rita or Arno's up next. Was it Rita? I'm not that sure.
In fact, Alejandra has had 1 more attempt.
And now it looks at Alejandra again. Like, who's up next? We're going to see just like...
Quick water break for us there, as God, the hours can run by here when you've got all this action on, and you forget to even drink here. And to remind you where we are, we're at the wonderful NEOM Beach Games 2022, which will feature 5 events, not other than kite surfing. There will be mountain biking, triathlon, 3-on-3 basketball and beach soccer, but we are starting things off here in NEOM with the kite surfing, and boy have we had some action already over the last 2 days. This is the third day and we are in the semi-finals here at the Qatar Airways GKA Kite World Tour NEOM, and I'm joined by Finn just to the side of me, Finn Flugel, one of the athletes who finished inside the top 10 in the freestyle to the quarterfinals. Finn, you told me at the start of the day that you had some schoolwork to do. Have you effectively, do you still have to do that?
Yeah, sure. Like, it's not only kiting. Like, we need to do some school with us, and yeah, it's good to have like something in your mind, where not just kiting. And yeah, it's always good to do some schoolwork. And after we go in the water here in NEOM, wonderful.
I can't imagine what it's like to combine kite surfing with school. I got into it at 17, but meanwhile, let's talk back to the action, Finn. Here we are with Rita Arnaus, and that was a lovely slim. That little break in between things here with the wind dropping and the change of kite size seems to have worked for her. Tell me, what did you think of that move?
Oh, it was a nice one, but not the highest one, but it definitely really clean one, nice extent. Judges would like it, will get a good score for her. Probably getting under the top 2 again now.
Yep, she's pushed herself back into second place. Bruna Kajiya is absolutely storming this heat with a 6.80, 5.83 and a 6.83 being the moves that have got her safely at the front at the moment. She will want to get a 4th score in there, which is likely to be, I think, KGB related, a back to blind perhaps.
And now it looks like Alexandra Torres up next. She already changed kite sizes again, probably looking like 11 on. Going big pop and nice Aspen to blind, clean landing.
Yeah, that was really clean, Finn. Sorry to talk over you there, but that was a very clean move at a crucial time in this heat for Alexandra, and I think she'll be happy about that. She's still in this. You know, there's still some time to get some more moves in. That'll be her 5th trick. She still has a chance here. She's found herself in the semi-finals of a major event here in Saudi Arabia. And that move on the board just pushes her up into 3rd place, that little bit closer to the safety of advancing into the finals. It's around 20 knots here now, maybe 18 in the lulls, I'd say, maybe 22 in the gusts here in the northwestern part of Saudi Arabia. And these riders are riding in an offshore wind off this flat lagoon here, which you can just make out the open ocean in front of us outside our screens, the Straits of Tiran, looking over to Egypt. But Francesca Banoli with a 3-1-3, and she must be happy with that, which will push her outside, I think, away from that 4th place.
Yeah, probably. Now she has her 3rd trick on the board. She probably needs another one, but it was a nice one, just taking away the butt check a bit. And now with Bruna Kajiya, or no, or looks like, yeah, probably Bruna or Rita, I'm not sure. But Bruna definitely has the lead here with 19.46 here. Now we have up again, yeah, Bruna Kajiya.
Cool, it's a big back mode from Bruna Kajiya. I think I'd forgotten some of the moves she was capable of here, and just to get that correct, she is flying a north out there. She's got a red north, a pulse. Got those two mixed up earlier, Alexandra. And that is a big move for her. And the North rider will be riding out to sea, about to turn around, pretty satisfied with herself with that move. That was very classy, that Finn, that one. I think she's almost a shoe into the final here. She's almost 10 points ahead of the rest. And that said, we still have some more moves to come here from the other riders who haven't got their 4 best moves currently on the board. But she's looking very good.
And now Rita Arnaus up next, hopping with speed, and a nice Aspen blind pass, just taking kite away from the water, but gonna get good, like, it's a good score on that one.
I just managed to get a quick glimpse out the window there, Finn, in time, and I'm pretty sure that kite made contact with the water. It was lifted up very, very quickly, as we could see her hand movements reaching for the outside of the bar, and I wonder if that's going to knock her down some points here. I imagine that must have been in around sort of the 4.5s. Maybe, I can't see it scoring much more than that. Oh, no, it has. They haven't penalised her. Perhaps it hasn't, or is that the 3.70? Let's get this right here to actually find out if whether or not they've taken that down. So I think that move has come in as a 3.70 for her. Oh no, it hasn't actually come up on my screen in front of me here.
Yeah, she's already in second position, but now with Alexandra Torres in fourth position right now. Just with 11 points, need some more to get into the finals. Riding with speed. Okay, we see probably want to go for back to blind now here, but didn't really get the height.
No, she didn't. And let's tidy that up for you then from Rita then, who did actually get a great score, 5.60. Possibly her kite didn't touch the water then. Maybe my eyes deceived me there. As can happen in these warm desert-like countries. We've heard of oases before. Maybe that's just what happened to me there. So she does score very nicely because it was a very clean move from Rita. So we can see that S bent to blind with a 5.6, crucially putting her in second place actually. So that was a major moment in this semi-final here. Francesca Bagnoli now will start her run into her sixth move, and she would love to get a good score on the board here. It's a Hinter Mo, bit of a butt check. She'll be, oh, it's going to count as a crash. She's going to be upset with that, Finn.
Yeah, it was nice for the beginning, looked really good, but then like that butt check and also like putting a bit too much weight on her front leg, but probably maybe gonna try it again. She's gonna need it to get in second position.
Unfortunately for her, that means that she's definitely going to have to score a 3.87 in one of her 4 top scoring tricks here, because she's had 3 crashes now. She's had 3 moves, 2 of which have been reasonable scores. And this last move, if she can get it when she gets her chance after these riders, is going to need to be a big one. At the moment, we can see it's a 5.59. In fact, that's going to be on top of her other moves. She's going to need an absolute... Oh, she has been given some scores for that last move, but I still think she's going to be needing a big one. But on our screens right now is Bruna Kajiya with a back to blind, and she's just got such good technique with that move, the way she lays the board down. She is looking very comfortable out there, Finn.
Yeah, still on the 9 also, but looking comfortable in her kite, and yeah, it was a nice move. I don't even know, maybe the small grab was on there, but was a good one. So now up next, Rita, probably, yeah.
There on your screens, if you take a look at those scores right now, then Rita Arnaus 5.13, a 3.70, 5.63 and a 5.60. She's got good, solid scores on there. Francesca Bagnoli below her, who will be looking to try and get into the top 2 with her last move. Can't really do much about this at the moment because she's had 3 crashes or low scores, and unfortunately her 3.87 will stay in her top 4 tricks. But meanwhile, coming left foot forwards in here then, working the kite up and down for extra power, now getting up to speed then. It's Rita Arnaus. What's she got for us here? It's a nice takeoff, and it's another Intermo, probably looking to upgrade her previous one. Maybe was looking for the 5. So yeah, she's. I think she's going to get a bit of a better score for that one there. She's got a 3.70 counting, and we'd like you to see that being removed out of her scores. If you look carefully at Rita Arnaus, it's her second score we can see there from the left. That 3.70 kicked out and replaced by what looked like a 5.63. It might even have been higher than that. It might be the 6.20. I can't remember which one it was, but either way, that could be curtains for Francesca Bagnoli. Was hoping so much on her return to make it through to the finals, but I think that's going to be very difficult for the other 2 riders in this heat. This is Alexandra Torres. Now, Finn, what do we think we're going to see here?
Yeah, she needs like a big one to get in second position, but I don't even know if she can still get into the final. It's her 7th attempt, I'm not sure. But now we check the trick. We see a front wrapped, clean one.
That was really nice, wasn't it? That was a lovely move for her. I think that was her best move of the heat. And she punches the air. You know, she's pretty happy about that. I wonder, perhaps, if that's going to push her up into 3rd place. That would be a nice little Brucey bonus if she could do. But this heat not finished then. This heat is not finished. Please ignore that in the top corner. I'm going to double check that out the window because I know there's more tricks to go here. Yes, it's Bagnoli who rides out. So he is not finished at the moment.
No, but now the wind's definitely dropping off. I think we're gonna probably see the 2nd girls semi-final. But I think the final of the match will go on tomorrow. What do you think, Louis?
I'm not sure. Yeah, I think they might get them to wait around a little bit here, but I'm not so sure. I know the wind came back yesterday, so we'll see, but I don't think there's much change that can be had in this heat right now. Francesca Bagnoli pretty much has, where is she here? She has 4 scores in, a 1.73 already on the board, so 6.36 to advance on top of the 1.73. She's going to need somewhere up near the 9s here, I think, Finn, if she's going to do this. She's coming way down in the box. What she got for us, she went for, looked like a Hintermobe sort of move, and may well have been looking to just get an extra trick in here. But unfortunately for her, that is going to be her last move, and she'll have to settle with a 3rd in the semi-final here, Finn.
Yeah, so plays like, it was like I think she went a bit too much speed for that one to maybe get in 2nd position, but yeah, we didn't solve one now. I think
We're back with you here.
he's still on. Now we have Bruna Kajiya on, trying to find her like pod where she can jump. Before, I think we saw a toe side trick, like attempt.
Yeah, we did. That was well spotted. Yeah, and actually there are still a few moves left in this heat, so please just ignore that finished up in the top left-hand corner. That is not true at all. We're seeing Bruna Kajiya, who such is the competitive rider, knows that these toe-side scores are being performed and getting scored very well, and goes for one herself.
Yeah, move is probably going to count here, but not going to get the biggest score on that one, not the height and not the speed of the landing. But now, next on looks like Alexandra Torres, I'm not really sure. Rita Arnaus here.
Interesting to see what she scored there, like a toe-side ready to blind. And we'll see if she manages to get any sort of decent score. She's just probably feeling out and using that move to see what she'll get for that toe-side move. Back to blind then from Rita Arnaus. She has looked really solid in this heat so far, and she looks very well like she has made her way into the final. She'll be absolutely stoked with that, Rita. And this heat pretty much is coming to an end now. And Joe Siasta doing a great job on the beach there, really getting excited about that one. Oh, we're going to be going into the ladies' second semi-final, of course, after this one. And of course he's making some noise on the beach. I think that was a good replay move. We're going through some replays here, Finn. Let's have a little chat about these.
Yeah, it was a nice first trick of the first trick of the heat. I think it was a nice blind judge. Bruna Kajiya with was a front blind try. It was a nice one actually with a pass in the air, but then didn't really got the kite up again.
It was a great shot that, wasn't it, where we saw the chicken loop nicely and the return house with a nice 360-degree rotation. Backside in that one. Lovely to see these slow-mo shots.
Yeah, looks super sick of the drone. 3-1-3, but it was a bad score. I think Kaya almost went in the water.
And Francesca Bonoli, the Italian rider there, just didn't quite get her moves all together. She has so much power and distance, but this was one of her better moves, the slim that she did land in that heat, which her highest score was a 6.60. She punched the sky and probably felt she had a way into the final, but it wasn't to be in the end. And it was this lady, Bruna Kajiya, former multiple world champion, that just absolutely ripped it in that heat. All scores pretty much sixes or over. And she won with a healthy win by 3.60 to Rita Anaus there, who also performed some nice moves. Finn, I'm going to say thank you very much for joining me here in the live stream booth. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you in here, and I'm sure I'm going to see you again. Is there anything you want to say to any of your friends listening?
It was super cool to be here, definitely, and hope I can help you soon again.
Thank you, and help me you did. It was great to have your insight as a rider. I'll see you soon.
Estabais ahí, ¿no? Con Francesca. Sí, sí, he visto. Navegué con 3 kites en una manga. Sí, sí, bajó mucho. Sí, ahora el final con la 9 ya no. Qué control ahí. Sí, la gente dirá, don't do this at home, okay? Don't interview people with like kites here, like.
I am standing here. We just finished off semi-final number 1 of the women and making it into the final. Bruna Kajiya and Rita Anaus. Congratulations. Making it all the way to that grand finale. Bruna, absolutely incredible riding out there. It looked like you found those little pockets and were able to get some of the highest scores and win in this heat.
Yeah, I'm very happy. That was a very exciting heat. On the way out, I could find good gusts, and I was looking for them. And some of the tricks I popped and I felt the gust and I was like, I'm here for this, let's go. So it was great, and the girls were killing it too. It was really interesting to see them both battling for that last spot too. And yeah, I'm very happy to be on the final.
Wow, congratulations, Bruna. Yeah, definitely well deserved. I'm going to scoot over here. Rita also making it into the grand final. Conditions did look a little bit tough, but both of you ladies managed through that and once again up in there in the top 4.
Oh yeah, I'm glad I made it. The conditions were really tricky. I changed kites like maybe 10 times, I don't know. The first time I kite three different kites in one hit. But yeah, I stoked that I managed to keep my mind focused and yeah, I could learn my tricks.
Well, congratulations, ladies. I'm going to let you go and have a little breather. Hopefully, we'll be able to run those finals today. Conditions are a little light, but stay live because we have more action out there on the water. Semi-final number 2.
Thanks very much, Joe. Do you reckon he's still standing still down there? No, he's moving now. It's all right. He's doing a great job down there today. I've got I'd like to say I've been given the luxury job of getting the air-conned live stream, but it keeps coming on and off and on, but it's very comfortable. And let's be honest, to be privileged to talk about all this action right now going on the water for the first time in Saudi Arabia is a wonderful thing. And I am now in the booth, joined by just the sound man, but I believe, cool, that was on good timing. I believe we're going to have one of the ladies sent in here, but here is Natalie Lambrecht. Just with a S-bend to blind. Oh, we have you straight out of the water. Excellent. Come and join me down here. Francesca Binoli. Yep, get those on your head. It would be lovely to have your insight out there. And you've been counted in. How are you doing, Francesca? Tough heat you've just had on the water there. Unfortunately, you didn't make it into the final.
Yeah. The conditions now are better than this morning. Wind is pretty light now, but it's better than this morning for sure. And now who's this? Claudia going on the right side, and then blind just 3, good one.
What do you think about this heat then? When you look at this heat, Francesca, you see obviously we're thinking Mikhaili Sol's looking like the favourite, and you've got Natalie Lambrecht and Claudia.
Yeah, Natalie Lambrecht is pushing it so much. She improved a lot, and I'm here after 3 years, and she improved so much. Her level now is very high.
And I think she surprised a lot of people, right? She really focused hard in that amazing training location of El Gouna at the Mikhaili Beach Club, and she just came back with all these new toe side variations and just looks like she's been one of the top ones for years.
And she's pushing the limit of the girls. And did she do the trick? Not yet.
We'll get into the rhythm a bit just while we get going. They're considered zeros if you see a white square. So that is possibly that she may have crashed already. But on your screens then is the current world champion in multiple disciplines, is Mika Sol starting off with the back mode. How did that make you feel?
Oh my God. And it was perfect, nice landing, and the kite was in a nice position, and I think she's going to score high.
And I also agree with that, Francesca. It's so nice to have you here in the booth again. It feels like a long time since we've spoken here, and it's great to have your insight as we talk about the women's semi-finals, heat number 2. We've just had the first semi-final, of course, which advancing was Bruna Kajiya from Brazil, the multiple former world champion, and also we had Rita Arnaus from Spain. They are 2 of the 4 riders that will be in the final. The 2 top finishers in this heat will join them here at the Qatar Airways GKA Kite World Tour at the NEOM Beach Games 2022 in Saudi Arabia. And if you have just joined us, it is 1:12 p.m. in the afternoon. What have you been doing? You've missed some great action here, but there's still more action to come as the northerly wind just starts to drop slightly a little bit here, Francesco, as it does so in the day. And there is a flag that I've just seen raised that looks like a flag of importance. And I'm just going to make sure, leaning around the TV, dodging the wires, that I don't know why that flag's there actually, but
Mikhaili got a 7.97.
Wow.
So
big score for that mode then. They really liked it. So perhaps that flag's just happens to be the flag which usually says this in a heat postponement or something, but the riders are still going on with this, so we will talk about the action. Pumping the board then, right foot forwards out to sea, and visibly angry about the conditions. How does it feel to be a rider when the wind drops like that and you're in the heat?
Yeah, I had the same in my last trick. I wanted to do a heart attack on the right side, but the wind was dropping, and I found myself in the middle, not in the middle, downwind from the competition area. Then the countdown was finished, and I had to do a trick on the left side, but I didn't know even why I did that trick. So it's like you feel a bit under pressure.
Forced into having to do something.
0.87 for Carly.
Here is the very easy recognisable stance of Natalie Lambrecht flying under the Swedish flag then, who does look like she's got enough power and looking like she's going for an S-bend to blind. And lovely control there. I love to see the handle behind the back like that. What do you think that's going to score?
Yeah, it's something different, and I think it's going to score. She showed much control, and kite was in a nice position. Maybe more than a 5. What do you think, Luis?
I've been looking at lots of the scores today. I think it's going to be in the high 5s, I reckon. I reckon that was just the control element of that for her.
Where is it?
Okay,
Hey.
we meet in the middle. No, we meet in the middle, yeah? 5.50 for Natalie. And she's definitely had a nice start in this heat. It looks like the wind's come back a little bit more now. And this is part of competing. Is being able to get out there, maybe change the kite. But Claudia Leon, it looked like she had it. What happened there, Francesca?
Had it. I don't know. It happened also to me before that my bar got stuck in my fingers. So it could have happened the same to Claudia.
Right, so the scores, we're just going to have to bring you what we see on screen right now. We do get a little bit more of an insight sometimes, but
oh my
outrageous.
God. That was a front blind move from Michaeli. Unfortunately, she crashed, but it was so good.
She doesn't look too bothered by it, I have to say. She very much looks like she goes out there and just enjoys herself, you know, like knowing that she's got the tricks in the bag to kind of always excel from the other riders. It must be a strange position to be in.
Yeah.
Can you see any other way in this competition or any other result than a Michaeli Sol win?
She's going to win, I think.
You think she's going to win? Can Bruna maybe bring it to her?
Yeah, Bruna is doing great. I think it's going to be a hard battle in between Bruna and Mika. But, you know, in competition, you never know. Front roll from
Carly Toma.
Yeah.
And it's not going to be so well received by the judges. We are going to tell you now, if you are planning your days at home on a Thursday or Friday? I forget now. Friday.
I think it's Friday.
On a Friday. I think it's Friday everywhere in the world right now. We are not going to be running the finals today. This will be the last action on the water, so we want to let you know that in case you plan on going kite surfing wherever you are. Here is the action still continuing. Natalie Lambrecht with a back to blind. Nice technique. Very similar to Bruna.
Yeah, I thought she grabbed the board.
I'd like to see a replay before I confirm that, but I love the way she spent a lot of time with just one hand on the bar, which is a sign of real understanding of a move, dropping down into the position to land, and that's actually pushed her out in front there after that crash from Michaeli Sol. Temporarily, of course, we remind you that it's their 4 best tricks which will score out of 7 trick attempts. A total of 40 points maximum can be scored, which I think in the history of kiteboarding, I don't think we've seen. We've seen lots of 10s in time, not for some time. But is it nice to have, maybe we talk through this trick once more from Claudia. Nice control.
Yeah, very nice control from Claudia. And by the way, Natalie got a 5.23 from her back to blind.
That's well seen. And is it nice to have freestyle getting a bit of the spotlight again?
It's super nice. It's super nice to have freestyle here, but like I'm loving I think everybody is loving the afternoon session. Like the morning session is pretty hard, and it's wind is gusty, but yeah, it's competitions. You cannot choose the best spot ever.
No, you can't. You've just got to accept wherever you are and be prepared for that. And I think this strong wind in the morning has caught lots of riders out, needing 7s or even smaller. But meanwhile, we see nice move there. Wasn't her best.
Well.
But it was still nice and controlled. What was that one?
Yeah, I think her kite was a bit high, but also because of the wind. Maybe it's light, and she's using the kite to pop as well.
Plenty of wind here, though, for this rider out to sea. But I think he's quite far out. Miles out now, actually, is that Carly Toma, who's way downwind and perhaps maybe never coming back here. That we can see we can see the red north kite. She's looking over her shoulder. She's almost on the other side here. This is great camera work to even be keeping her in focus here. I think she's going to struggle getting back.
It's her turn.
Yeah, it's her turn, and she's going to have to just perform a move out there. Is there ever an advantage to being right out there in conditions where it's a bit light on the inside?
Sorry, say that again.
Is there ever an advantage to going way out to sea? If she will be scored, I imagine, if she tricked out there.
Yeah. I think she will be scored because judges are not really strict in these conditions. They are helping us, and I think, well, the problem is that
she can't actually do a trick.
Yeah, it's dropping and dropping. Which trick are there? The second one? Yeah.
I think the only problem she might have here is I don't think she's on the biggest kite that she owns. We see an 11-meter kite here from Claudia Leon, and just starting and getting going now, we see a 13-meter from Natalie Lambrecht. She's a tall rider, and she's carrying good speed here on a 13, which indicates to the judges, look, with a big enough kite size here, I've got enough power, so the heat will most likely continue. Would you be on a 13 now, Francesca?
I tell you a secret. I don't have 13.
Okay, just 12 or 14?
11.
11 tops.
Yeah,
You'd be borrowing one now for sure. I'm not sure that's a secret anymore.
Yeah, I'm not
sorry.
Sure. I'm not sure. Yeah. I didn't see Natalie switching kite.
No, she's still on the 13. There's the lady on your screen. The Swedish rider that trains so much down in Egypt.
Come on.
There's a lovely posture. That's her concentration posture, I think. And
look at her expression, like really focused.
Yeah, here she goes.
Yes, go for it.
Yes.
No.
Bit of
Yes.
That wobble really tried to throw her off there. So a move isn't necessarily complete when you first land. Tell me what happened there.
I think she was a bit unbalanced. Her shoulders were were forward, and she tried to, how do you say, compensate the movement and lying back, but she had it.
Bit of chop wobbled her as well. It was she had it, and it was an important move to maybe land.
She's leading, but Michaeli, she just had 2 tricks, and Natalie had a.
Yes, 4.17 on your. Try and upset those top 2 at the moment. Here she comes then.
Come on, good job.
Nice.
Downwind. Yeah, she's going downwind as well. Not as like Carly, but for Claudia, and I think she's gonna score. What do you think, Luis?
Oh, I don't want to play that game now with the wind dropping. I'm going to avoid that, but I know it's going to most likely be a score in her top 4 tricks, especially with this tricky wind. I did notice she was on an 11-meter squared kite. It's a bit smaller from the taller Natalie Lambrecht. Are measured in meters squared. The bigger sizes that we have generate more power, and in a situation like this where the wind dropping, riders will need to be taking their biggest kites out. They bring more than one to these competitions. They range from 6-7 meters squared upwards all the way up to 15 and 16, but here on your screens is the current world champion Michaeli Sol, making it look easy with a front to blind, and I wonder what kite size she's on, but she does make this look easy, Francesca.
And it's not easy at all, I can tell you. It's so hard, and she has control, she has power.
She's almost looking comfortable now when this score gets updated to big score there.
6.27.
She's the only rider scoring over 6 points here in the start. Wow.
What was it?
A 7.97 the back mob scored. And cool.
Carly, I think
How did she get
back? She got a 12, I think. Oh.
I wanted her to land that so much.
Ready to blind, and she said she cannot do that. She's smiling in the water.
Lovely shot there of Carly Toma, who is very much a big air rider that performs on the big air scene, and just chance her luck coming here as well, and made her way into the semi. And apparently she doesn't try that trick so much, but she went out straight on a 12, and they obviously said, look, just go for it. And she was very close to that. But here we come back to the ever-focused Natalie Lambrecht. Didn't quite get the pop there, didn't get the takeoff she was after.
Was she unhooked? I didn't see it.
Good point, actually.
Yeah.
Everybody
so
has
annoying.
it. Yeah, and some riders actually don't use it, especially for freestyle. I think Aaron never uses that, but I find that one time where I come out by accident does me so bad. I want to be in or out. And we're talking about the very politely named Donkey Dick, I think it's called in England. I'm not
monkey?
sure. Not monkey.
Monkey?
We call it the donkey.
Oh, well, in Italy.
In kite we've got the chicken loop. We've got all sorts of names.
Or chicken finger.
Chicken finger, yeah. Perhaps that's a bit kinder than
monkey,
the donkey dick, which is a technical term. We remind you at home. What we're talking about is the small piece of black plastic which goes through our chicken loops, which connects our bodies physically to the kites. Where there's a way of actually locking our bodies in there, which I think the cameraman's trying to zoom in for me there. Wow, yeah, we can see there it is. Look at that little bit hanging down on the harness there. It's currently not connected to the handle pass maneuvers as the body taking the weight of the kite through that harness that you can see there, which is very similar to mountain climbing or abseiling or something like that. And we'll watch carefully here as Claudia Leon will look for the perfect time to remove herself from the power of the kite from the body and then take it all through the arms so that she can pass the bar behind her back or possibly just perform an unhooked move.
It's going right side, good speed, good pop, kite bit high, oh.
Tough that. Tough that for her. We see the kite land on the water. They can relaunch them. They are inflated. It's no problem. But with the ever dropping wind here and these light wind conditions, it's difficult. It really sort of takes your natural movement away. You find you forcing your body around.
You have to force your body. That's true.
All riders will say that their worst nightmare, more so than strong wind, is light wind, where you just can't perform your moves. You end up trying to manipulate the kite, and that is exactly what we saw there from Claudia Leon.
Michaeli, it's Michaeli's turn. Or, wait. Oh, that was a smop with the grab. No, that was a, wait. I think it was a KGB with the grab.
I was busy looking at the, or trying to get the scores up on my screen here, which seem to have
hopefully we can see the
disappeared. And but I can tell you from the scores we can see on your screen right now, which isn't the most in-depth, but it's certainly giving us our four best scores for Michaeli Sol. And here we go again. Having fun here is Kylie Core. That was nearly devastating already with that shallow water.
I think she's going to try again the Ready to Blind.
Yes, she is. And she's going to try it full commitment. And she's really struggling now on that 12 metre. This might be the end of the line for this heat here. What a moment it would be if she can land this, though.
Yeah, she's going for... Oh.
Didn't get a takeoff. Yeah, come on, I'm trying here. She's desperate.
Yeah, she's trying so hard.
Yeah. And as a big air rider mostly, she probably won't be too fast. Finally the wind comes when she gets right out there. So, unfortunately that will score as a pop as they give you for taking off.
Much?
0. I don't know. There's a game to play. How much do you think she will score for this pop?
0.2, in my opinion.
0.2. I'm going to go 0.3 and cover you if it gets higher than that. This is the women's semi-finals, the second semi-final here at the Qatar Airways GKA Kite World Tour. I'm Lewis Crathen, joined by the Italian rider next to me, Francesca Banoli. We're talking you through the action here in NEOM at the Beach Games. On your screens now, searching for the wind, is Natalie Lambrecht, who's currently in second position, but not by miles, only by about 1.3 from Claudia Leon. But this is looking very light out here now. As a rider, are you sometimes in these positions, Francesca, where you're hoping that the heat's abandoned, or is it different if you've got a good score on the board?
Well, I always hope to compete in, everybody always hope to compete in good wind conditions, and when it's like that, I think it's not that fair to continue the heat, especially because this is a semi-final and it's quite important, and maybe I prefer to abandon the heat.
Yeah, and I think that's coming very shortly. Yeah. So Rui Mira, those of you which followed the freestyle circuit in the days gone by, is very experienced, but Natalie is still finding the wind out there. And as we said, Rui Mira will have to deal with the likes of this because he is our race director in charge here from Portugal. And he knows his way around freestyle, former event winner in Canada. He's on the beach here, lots of former pros here that are actually part of the framework behind the scenes. We've had these discussions with him. When there's one rider out there on a 13-meter kite that can perform the moves, it's hard for me to abandon the heat. So that is the dilemma that the other riders have got. Claudia Leon, to my knowledge, is on an 11-meter kite.
Carly is so much downwind. I don't think she's going to make her way back here.
Looks like a bigger kite, though, now for Claudia Leon. That does look more like a 12 or 13. So this is tough here in the second semi-final of the day for the ladies. We've had the men's semi-finals. Incredible action.
Coming. Back to blind. Yes, good job, Claudia.
Wonderful. Wonderful patience.
Yeah. That was good.
That was good. Very good kite control. She had to have the kite a bit higher, right? There was just no way she could perform that move with the kite lower.
I think you have to move it and you need the kite a bit higher when the wind is light. And yeah, I think she's going to, let's see.
Oh, yeah, that's scored relatively well. We can't tell you exactly what trick that has scored, but we know it's one of her 4 top moves. And this is really going to be, to my opinion now, a battle for second place between Claudia Leon and Natia Lambrecht. Latterly, knowing her weapons of toe-side moves, she might not be able to perform them in these wind conditions. So that move we just saw right then from Claudia Leon could be a massive turning point in this heat.
It's Michaeli's turn. She's coming left foot forward. It seems that there's not enough. Yeah, there's not enough wind to perform. Maybe she's going now on the right side again. Oh, she's struggling a bit. Yeah, right foot forward.
Oh, she went for a mode 5. And look, she's obviously got the rotation because she ended up all the way around there. So really just disappearing under the water there. That feeling that you all know as a freestyler when something goes wrong during a move. Worst is when it's at the end of the heat where you know you needed the move and you just have that moment to yourself under the ocean. And you just know it's gone wrong. Joe Tiastila is out there with the microphone. He's walking right in front of these, almost walking straight over to the judges here like an angry rider. What is going on here? Oh, he's pointing out that I think Carly's Homer has gone so far downwind in the box that she needs to be rescued, I think. No, we can't see her from here, but that's Joe with his many multiple rolls here pointing out a safety.
But we can see from the live stream, maybe she's far downwind from us.
Yeah, we don't often have flags into it. This is how far she's gone down to the left, that she's almost directly into the sun. Right, I'm going to walk to the window. I want to see, is she actually going to... We said earlier she might not get back. I can't even see her. So I think Joe is actually saying to the judges that you're not going to be able to score her here because she's gone behind your judge's container. So it does just very much feel to me like around the corner is this heat being abandoned. I can't even tell you how many tricks the riders have done at the moment because the scores aren't quite with me. They're not even on your screens right now. But all we can do here is tell you what we see in front of us, which is a powered up rider. Again, reminding us constantly that it does look like there's enough power with a suitable kite to perform the moves. And this is great experience from her. So Natalie's coming in. Is this time for a toe side maneuver?
I don't think she's going to do them because the wind is pretty light, and she said that she loves to do them when the wind is... Oh!
Had to send the kite up, didn't she, to get the power? So
up. She has to do 2 side tricks when the wind is like strong.
Yeah, this is an interesting place to be now for Natalie. She's had lots of great results lately, got through to some finals, and now she finds herself in a situation in a major semi-final where things aren't going her way here. She may be getting frustrated with the wind. It's the same for everyone here right now, to some degree, with the different sizes. Much smaller rider here is Claudia Leon. But she's up against it here because Claudia is taking it to her. Mika looks good in first place, but it's this rider on your screen from Spain that may be giving Natalie a problem.
Oh, that was so good. Yeah, she's so happy.
That problem just turned into a nightmare, Francesca.
Look at her dad. This is her dad, yeah. He must be really happy and proud of Claudia. She did a nice S-mob.
Where's the dad? Which one was that one with the cap on?
Yeah.
Okay, I think I saw that figure there. It's such a shame we can't give you the full view of the scores. And Mika now.
She looked confused.
Yeah, she's confused. Me? Is it my turn? And I think because Carly Toma hasn't returned so much in the picture, it's just messed up the order slightly. But look, definitely enough power for the world champion in both big air and freestyle. Right, oh, there, she's walking back upwind. So that's known as the walk of shame in England.
Yeah, walk of shame.
But I don't think there's any shame in her performance here, making it all the way to the semi-finals and giving us the action of trying O'Reilly to blinds. So well done to her. And that was an 11 metre, which is probably the reason now. These ladies now need to be on 13s really, or 12, but perhaps Claudia's making it work on a slightly smaller kite. And Natalie Lambrecht has, there we go, scores are back up there. Needs to improve her 3.47 really when she gets a chance. But this lady looks it's pretty close at the top actually.
Yeah, that's true. Left side. Another crash for Mikhaili.
Yeah, she's a left-hander. I just had to confirm that in my head for a second there. I was like, hold on a minute. Surely that wasn't tried on the other side there. Like, you just never know with her. And, yeah, it's a crash then from Mikhaili Sol. And Joe seems to be very animated on the beach, which to me can only mean one thing. Unless that was the final trick here. It is saying finished up there, but we can't be so sure of that. The only way we can be sure is to just lean out of this window. The aircon's been turned on, and yes, that looks to me like that may well have been the end of the heat. Or postponed, the sound engineer tells me. Postponed, as I nearly tread on a cable. So that will be postponed. And I think this is a good time, Francesca, to thank you very much for your help here in the booth. It's always lovely to speak with you.
Thank you.
And let's see what the rest of the day holds. But I've been told the finals will not happen, certainly here. And I'll be back with you very shortly as these replays just run through. I haven't gone anywhere, don't you worry. That's lovely to have Francesca in here talking us through that. And actually all of the riders in the booth today have been great. Here is some nice replays of Mikhaili Sol going for that front blind mode early on when the wind was just a bit better. Just to remind you, this heat has been abandoned. Kylie Toma, the big air rider here, just chancing her hand here. Great technique with that unhooked front roll. And yeah, I reckon she got a grab in there. Natalie Lambrecht on that back to blind. And things did really start off quite explosively here in this second semi-final. It was Claudia Leon who really has pushed it here to Natalie, demonstrating some nice moves. Mikhaili Sol just having to make sure she gets her moves in the bag. And this heat got really much all about the battle between these three ladies, Natalie Lambrecht, Mikhaili Sol and Claudia Leon. There is the scene on the beach here in NEOM, the wonderful NEOM where everyone is really enjoying their time. And there's Mikhaili Sol. So we've got a nice wide angle for you of the beach. Lots of spectators coming out today as well. And these beach games kicking off with kite surfing are very special. They run from the 19th of October until the December the 9th. That's quite some time, and it's really special what they are doing here. They're bringing together world-class sports events, high-performance athletes from around the world, all in this region in the northwest of Saudi Arabia. And it really does aspire to become a sports hub of the future, this area. You should see the amount of building and the work going on here. It's becoming a venue that we will be thinking about for kite surfing when we plan our holidays, when we think about where we want to go, where it's warm, windy all year round. And this isn't, maybe on your screens, a light wind spot, because in the mornings we have seen winds up to 30 knots already, pretty much every day of this event so far. But we'll get back with a bit more info for that. Let's go to Joe on the beach now.
I am standing over here with the new 2 finalists, Mikaeli So and Claudia Leon, just made it through semi-final number 2. Mika, making it look easy out there, having fun, mixing it up, getting grabs, getting blinds. Conditions were light, but you made it through to the final.
Oh yeah, for sure. The conditions were really light out there, but I made the most of it. Honestly, I think I'd rather have this wind out there than the wind earlier in the morning on like a 7 or on a 6. That would have not have been fun, but you know what? It was nice. Got in some back mobs, crail grab and stuff. It was really fun.
Yeah, congratulations, making it through to the grand finale. Claudia, up on top again, making it through to the final as well. You left it until pretty much the last trick to make it in. I can see the adrenaline is still pumping.
Oh my God, yeah, it was so tough because I couldn't go upwind, but at least I could do some stuff, and I'm so happy I could land all the things I wanted to. Yeah.
Wow, congratulations, both of you, making it through to the grand finale. That is going to be it for today, as we are not going to be running the finals today. We will continue tomorrow. We're going to have the big air in the morning, and then as that wind drops and gets to that sweet, perfect conditions, we will have the freestyle. So on behalf of me, goodbye, and we will see you tomorrow. Lewis, back to you.
Thank you very much, Joe. Yeah, that was interesting scene to the end there. Originally thinking that this had been postponed. Look, I am on my own here. Let's get that out of the way. My notes look pretty neat there, though. We can get that looking nice. But that heat was not postponed. That heat actually did run all the way through. I'll get nice and symmetrically in the middle. So that was interesting to speak to those 2 winners. Bit of an upset there with Natalie Lambrecht, who was expecting to get into that final, but she didn't really have the wind, I think, that she would have liked to perform those toe-side manoeuvres. But congratulations to Claudia Leon joining Mikaeli So in the final. Already waiting then for them is Bruna Kajiya, the multiple world champion. Let's see how she'll perform. And also Rita Arnaus with a great performance. Let's remind you then about the men in the finals, which will also take place most likely tomorrow. Finals of the men will be Gian Maria Coccoluto with that incredible performance getting through. Very well done to Juan Rodriguez, also making it through into the final. And I'll bring you shortly the other 2 riders that made it into the final, but we will have the men's tomorrow and the ladies tomorrow. But for now, the wind just dropping here ever so lightly that we just can't go ahead with this. Arthur Gilbert with an incredible performance, also getting through to the final. I can't leave today without mentioning his name. And Carlos Mario also doing really well today. Cool, it's been a long day here on the beach in Saudi Arabia. We've got the aircon back on here now. And I think we're pretty much about to wrap up now. Like I said, there will be no more finals. There won't be any more finals running today. So do what you need to do. From me, Lewis Crathen, here on the beach in Saudi Arabia, this is me coming to an end of my commentary here today. We look forwards to you joining us again tomorrow. It's been wonderful here in Saudi Arabia. That's day number 3. Qatar Airways GKA Kite World... Let's try again after this long day here. GKA Kite World Tour here in NEOM for the Beach Games 2022. Thanks for joining us.